pass, rolling to his right. They throw it, the in route to Tanner. Steck makes the catch. Steck dives for the pylon. Touchdown!
Up by the Nuggets, and an attack. That'll go for a kill from Anastier.
Lamar looks for a block, makes a man miss at the 5. End zone touchdown, swirls. Sets up middle. Jensen for the exclamation point kill.
30, the 20, the 15, the 10, and an 85-yard touchdown run for Landon Olsen.
Ulster Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on YourLiveEvent.com.
The start of a new season on the gridiron is upon us in North Dakota, and all roads lead to the Dakota Bowl to play in the 9-man championship 84 days from now at the Fargo Dome. But before the postseason gets underway, it's time to open up a new year here in 2023 in the regular football season. Tonight in Hope, it's the Maple River Raiders hosting the Enderlin Eagles for Region 1 football. A pleasant Good Friday evening. I'm Chase Miller alongside sideline color commentator Nathan Hoots, and Joey Hughes is our on-site producer. And this is the Irie Insurance pregame show. For more information, go online to IRIEINS.com. Enderlin is under new direction with first-year head coach Bo Deagle taking over for Eric Bergstead. The Eagles went 1-8 last year, losing quarterbacks to graduation and Trey Wall. Also, some other seniors with Colton Iwin, Caden Ammerman, and Carson Bartholomew, just to name a few. Enderlin's lone win came in the opener, defeating Tri-State 44-20 at Hendrickson Field almost a year ago to the date. Now for the Raiders of Maple River, second year of their varsity co-op, the Raiders went 6-4 last season and made a second-round appearance in the playoffs under head coach Larry Fontaine, defeating Richland in the first round, then losing to the Lobos of Lemoore-Litchfield-Marion the following weekend. All-Stater Clay Hovelson is gone, alongside with some of the seniors from last year's team in Reamer, Dylan, that's Wyatt Silling, and Liam Satcham as well. The Raiders defeated the Eagles 48-6 in the opener last season. Nathan Hoots, after hearing who's all gone, let's highlight some of the players you expect big things from tonight and throughout the season. First, let's start with the Maple River Raiders here, Hoots.
Yeah, absolutely. Returning quarterback, junior T. Silling played quite a bit last year on both sides of the ball. Didn't have to throw the ball too much with an all-state running back and a lot of complimentary guys that ran the ball a lot, but he'll be called upon a lot more, I'm assuming, in the run game this year with how big he is. He's gotten a lot bigger in the weight room this last summer, so looking for big things from him, along with Carter Bosch, first-year football player since he was in junior high. Short, shifty, he's extremely quick. Be interesting to see what happens the first time he gets hit tonight. How is he going to respond to that? Is he going to pop right back up? So that'll be big question marks right there, but he is an explosive athlete and look forward to seeing him with the ball.
On the opposite side for the Enderlin Eagles, they're going to be in their white uniforms here this evening. Let's talk about them. Obviously, losing the quarterback from a season ago in Trey Wall, that's a big one there, as we're going to see a sophomore quarterback in Carson Gruba here later tonight. But Hoots, I kind of circle a guy like Anthony Wendell, someone that they can kind of rely on, not just tonight but throughout the season.
Yeah, he's definitely highlighted on my list as well. He was kind of their bell cow back last year, got the ball a lot. He's going to be someone I'm assuming they're going to be handing the ball to a lot tonight, especially with a quarterback making his first start. There's nothing that you can rely on more than someone that you can hand the ball to 25 times in the game. And then, you look at guys that are going to catch the ball for him. They got an assortment of guys. Not really sure who's going to catch the ball. They got about 7 different guys right now that are catching passes from him here in pregame. So it'll be interesting to see who's going to be his best friend early on, get those easy dump-off passes to, calm the nerves early on.
A year ago was August 19th that we had the opener. This year, Hoots, it's August 18th, so a day earlier. But the anticipation, these guys have been going at it for 2 weeks in terms of their football camp. For some, they've had team camps already throughout the summer, their own team and individual camps as well. As you get to this point of the year, instead of 8 regions in 9-man, there's 4, so nearly every game on your conference schedule will reward you to make the playoffs or not. For Enderlin, every game that they have is. Maple River has one non-region game with Larimore coming up as Tri-State is not feeling a varsity football team this year. So what's the anticipation, Hoots, once you get to finally opening kickoff with all the stuff that led into it before you get to game number one?
There are a lot of nerves right now in both huddles on the field as we speak. Just the ability to finally get to hit somebody that's wearing a different colored uniform is extremely exciting for all these guys, and especially the coaches. They're finally like, hey, every single time we hear the pads pop, and we're not worried about if that guy's going to get up or not. We're excited to be able to hit somebody just wearing a different color uniform.
Let's get to some early keys. Let's just get to one first key for both teams. The old adage in coach speak, but it's ever so true. Turnovers, don't hurt yourself in the foot on big plays, with the yellow hanky obviously coming out. But Hoots, outside of the coach speak, what's something that both of these teams that you're kind of circling here as we get closer to kickoff?
It's the line of scrimmage. Maple River, when they played this game last year, just absolutely moved the line every single time they handed the ball off. You know, the running backs for the Raiders weren't touched till 5 yards down the field. They were moving them 4 or 5 yards every single play. The size differential between the Raiders offensive line last year and the guys that are going to line up here tonight is significant, and a lot of inexperience. They bring back one guy that, you know, played any type of snaps last year on the offensive line, whereas the size from Enderlin is going to probably cause them some problems. So you could probably see early on how quickly the Raiders are able to either move with their offensive linemen out on the perimeter, because I'm assuming they're going to try to run the ball outside the tackles with their more speedy linemen than big physical guys, and try to take advantage of the guys that are giving up 100 pounds to across the line of scrimmage.
Thank you very much, Hoots. Still to come on our Irie Insurance pregame show. We'll take a look at games across the region tonight, the preseason football polls in 9-man, and we'll hear from Maple River head coach Larry Fontaine. But when we return from Hope, we'll be joined by Enderlin head coach Bo Deagle. It's the Eagles of Enderlin and the Raiders of Maple River to kick off the 2023 season in Hope on yourliveevent.com.
Dakota Heritage Bank, serving you with 10 locations across North Dakota and northwestern Minnesota, has a strong background in ag and business lending, but they can also help with auto, recreational, personal, or home loans, including home equity lines of credit. Dakota Heritage Bank is a family-owned community bank where decisions are made locally. Our friendly staff greets you with a smile, takes the time to get to know you, and can help you with your banking needs. Visit us online, dhbanknd.com. Dakota Heritage Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Hey growers, when working on your water management solutions, call Chad's Excavating out of Mayville. They are your water management contractor, helping you with tile drainage plans, service drainage plans, or both. Remember, water management is a lifetime investment. Call Chad 701-430-0182 to get your water problem solved. For more information, follow Chad's Excavating on Facebook. For tile drainage and service plans, call 701-430-0182. Chad's Excavating out of Mayville, helping farmers grow.
Welcome to our Irie Insurance pregame show, part of our Coach's Corner, as we've done in previous years. Going to do that again this season for high school football and talk with both head coaches before kickoff. Joining us now from the Enderlin Eagles, that's their first-year head coach in Bo Deagle. And Bo, for you as a first-year head coach and also a second year for Enderlin, just having their own varsity football program in general, having some new players in different situations. Overall, before we talk about Maple River and the season to come, how is the first couple weeks of fall camp been for you and your team?
The first couple weeks have gone great. It's been a little bit of a learning curve with having it be my first year, along with the players their first year with me. But I mean, I couldn't really ask for much more in terms of buy-in and effort. The team seems like they're very interested in kind of, we agree on what our goals are, and being very interested in doing whatever it takes to get there. We got about 4 or 5 seniors that we have that are very interested in making their last year the best year that they can. And yeah, I mean, obviously, like with any team, you have ups and downs in practices, but we've always been willing to come back for more, and that's, kind of the toughness that is needed in the sport of football.
Let's talk about game number 1 here. Win, lose, or draw, whether it's a game against Maple River, which these kids know very well, as you know, being a former co-op a couple of years ago, or it's going up against a team like the Lobos, who have been there, done that in recent years in 9-man football. Ultimately, win, lose, or draw coming up here. Bo, what do you want to see for 4 quarters of football in Hope here later tonight?
What I'm hoping for is a team that comes out and plays hard and is not afraid to make mistakes. I told our team, like, we're going to make mistakes. We're going we're going to do something we shouldn't, block the wrong guy, maybe give up a long play. That's understandable. These are just high school kids, but we want to make sure whatever we do, we're doing at 100%. And then we want to make sure if the mistakes we do make, we learn from. And if we can do that, we can kind of, with each quarter, first, second, third, and fourth, hopefully be playing our best ball near the end of the game. So yeah, that's all I ask of them, to play like that and to play like you have no regrets. I mean, you only get so many regular season games. We want to make the most out of each one.
Let's talk about some of the players returning for your club. As you mentioned, some of the seniors here, Bo. Anthony Wendell, I know, and Aiden Glarum, kind of stand out a little bit. Bartholomew as well. What do those guys bring in terms of some varsity experience, obviously, from what they've been in the past, but also what do they bring as senior leaders, both on and off the football field this year?
Yeah, well, they all have all the seniors. They have experience playing, so that's nice. It's not like it's their first rep come Friday, come tonight. But we have with Aiden Glarum and Brennan Bartholomew, they give us some power and some strength on the line. And with any football team, 9 or 11 man, you got to have a solid line. So we're gonna lean on them, and hopefully we can run the ball behind them a little bit. And Anthony Wendell, he's going to be the ball carrier, and he's got a tough task in front of him because he's going to have to play linebacker and running back, and he's going to get a lot of carries, and he's probably going to make a lot of tackles. And he's gonna really have to show his toughness and be there for us at the beginning and end of the game. And I think he can do that. And he also he can show to be a strong runner. And we're gonna want to obviously try to give him the ball as much as we can.
And then at quarterback, it always starts at quarterback in the game of football, no matter how young the quarterback is or at what age in high school football. We talk about here, that's Carson Gruba. What are you expecting to see from Carson in game number 1 here? And as the season progresses, what are some of the things that you want him to continue to get better at from that QB spot?
Yeah, no, he's it'll be fun to see, because we're going to watch him grow from, obviously being a young sophomore who starts, but after he gets a few games under his belt, he's going to be more confident, more comfortable. And by the end of the year, it'll give him that much more experience moving into his junior year. But for right away, right off the bat, I told him, like, quarterback can be kind of a stressful position, but if you play hard and you learn from your mistakes and you don't get too up and don't get too down, that's what we're going to need out of him. And we're going to need him to kind of help the team come back to center after good plays and after bad plays, and really keep coming back for more. We're going to have to lean on him a little bit in the run game as well, our quarterback. So I have confidence that he can do that, but I also know that he's going to make a few mistakes because he's young too. And I told him that's fine. Like, we get it. We'll learn and move on.
Bo, anytime it's week number 1, whether you played against a team 4 consecutive seasons or it's someone from a non-region game, there's always a little mystery when you kind of get to the opening kickoff on week number 1. How much have you seen or heard or looked into game film in terms of what Larry Fontaine, what Maple River did last year, their first year of their co-op between the Maple Valley, Hope Page school districts? Obviously, Clay Holvelson, I think, was number 1 in everyone's category last year. He's gone, so someone else has to be in the backfield getting those yards or those receptions. So how much have you, so to speak, dove into the Raiders here and what to expect later tonight?
Yeah, I've watched a few games of theirs from last year, and you don't really want to put too much weight on that, just because you have no idea what they're going to do. They could come out and I know last year they ran a lot of power and a little bit of spread, and this year they could run a lot of spread with a little bit of power. So what we're going to try to do is just practice, as many formations as we can, and more so concepts rather than what exactly they're going to run. And our defense needs to know that they could come out in 5 different things that we haven't practiced, but we just got to get people in as good a spots as they can to do their defensive assignment. But yeah, I know their quarterback should be pretty solid, so I imagine they're going to try to throw and use him a little bit. But it's after that first quarter, we'll know a lot more.
Final thing for you, Bo, just ultimately, what do you enjoy most about Friday nights from the sidelines in your current position?
Yeah, Friday nights are the best. You get to be outside. Usually the weather's good. It's in the season of fall. Like, you can't really ask for much more. I've coached basketball and football at the varsity level, and nothing really compares to Friday night lights.
Hey, Bo, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck here in the season opener and throughout the rest of the season.
Thank you.
That again, Bo Deagle, head coach of the Enderlin Eagles. We'll take a quick break. When we return on our coaches show, we'll hear from Larry Fontaine on our pregame show here on yourliveevent.com.
Triple E Incorporated in Page is cheering on the Raiders as they compete on and off the court and field. They put in the effort to build a team with trust, experience, and the ability to accomplish their goals. The team at Triple E Incorporated is built the same way, with knowledge and experience, with timeliness and efficiency. For your next non-residential building project, go online to eeeinc.com or stop by the office in Page for more information. Make your next project a winner with the team at Triple E Incorporated in Page.
At Enbridge, we believe sustainability is the foundation of our success. How well we perform as a steward of our environment, a safe operator of essential energy infrastructure, a good neighbor, and a diverse employer defines our success. Learn more about Enbridge's environmental, social, and governance commitments and our Indigenous Reconciliation Plan at enbridge.com.
Part of our Irie Insurance pregame show with the Coach's Corner. Joining us now from the Raiders' point of view, that's head coach Larry Fontaine. Second year with this co-op here. Larry, crazy to think a year ago you were bringing the Hope Page and the Maple Valley School District kids together. You have a really good season, able to make it to the second round of the playoffs. You get into the playoffs your first year as a co-op. So going into year number 2 here, Larry, I know like everybody, you lose some seniors and you maybe take some kids around a little bit, but I would say the expectations for you, knowing you, trying to make the playoffs yet again this year in the second year of this co-op, Larry.
Yeah, hi, Chase. How are you?
Doing well.
Good. Yeah, we lost 2 All-Staters and Clay Holvison and Marty Rohrbeck, and 2 All-Conference kids and Liam and Dylan. But, you know, we replaced them with Carter Bosch. He is an explosive talent, and Owen Tickey is going to start for us as a lineman. And, you know, eventually Frank Martin will play a little bit, and as will Dylan Zahn. So we got some kids that, you know, will replace the guys that we lost. It's hard to replace 2 All-Staters, but I'm really excited to watch Bosch kid run.
As you get into game number 1 of the season, I always ask every coach this, you know, win, lose, or draw, whether you're going up against the number 1 rated team in the state like you had to last year, you know, against the Lobos for the preseason, or you're going up against a team like Enderlin, a rivalry game, or someone in between, Larry. Win, lose, or draw, ultimately for 4 quarters of football, what do you want to see from your guys in the first game of the season?
Well, I know what T can bring to the game. I know what Stevie Drogan can bring to the game. We have to fill, you know, a position on the line. We have Kelvin back, but Levi Trader does not have enough practices, so he can't play. Frank does not have enough practices, so he can't play. I don't know. I'm not sure about Gabe Berenson, if he can play or not. I'll find out today. So, you know, our line is going to be 9th grader and Owen, and Bobby Bergfield as a senior. We don't have any size on the line. We'll have a little more when Levi comes back, but we have speed. You know, I want to see how our speed plays out. T is not going to pass as much. He'll pass, but kid's big. He's going to run a lot. Kid's 6'2", 200, whatever. Runs a 4.75, 40. He's quick. We're running the ball a little outside, and then the Bosch kid. So I'm glad he came over for football. He is dynamite. He's probably the fastest kid I've coached, and I've coached football since 1997. Kid is blazing. So we're going to, you know, outside, inside. And we got Connor Dahl. That's got a year of experience starting. He's hard to bring down, and he's quick. And, you know, some traps and some dives if they start going outside, and we'll move it inside, and then we'll open them up. The ceiling boy can throw a ball 50 yards on a dart. So we got Stevie and we got Carter on the outside. If we want to go double wings, you got to cover one of them, you know. So, and we have Preston Dowes. He'll start this year, and Caleb Dowes is going to get a lot of playing time. And Bobby, So we got some new kids that are going to get some playing time, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they handle it, and we got a lot of kids going both ways. So we really worked them and practice, a lot of conditioning, and I think they're in shape.
As we go into the season here, Larry, something a little bit different from last year in 9-man is there's only 4 regions instead of 8. Last year, half your games were non-region games, the other half were. So how much as a coach, you only have one non-region, you're going to play the Polar Bears of Larimore coming up here in a couple of weeks in Hope, but how much of this as a coach, does it change much in terms of week 1, week 2 when you're playing a region opponent compared to a non-region, or how much does it change from your point of view, if at all, Larry, as a head coach?
It doesn't change at all. Every game, we got to prepare for the game we have in front of us. We want to win every game. We want to be ready for them. It doesn't matter if it's Lemoore, if it's Enderlin, or if it's Larimore, or if it's Griggs County. We prepare the same both ways. This time, we don't have a lot of tape on Enderlin, obviously. They have a new coach. We've looked at their lineup. They've got a Gruba kid, a Wendell kid. They've got a Bartholomew as a big kid. But, we size-wise, we match up with them. And we'll see what they bring on Friday night.
Final thing for you, Larry, before you let you go, we kind of mentioned what do you want to see coming up. We've talked a little bit about the players here as well. What do you enjoy most on Friday nights as a coach? This is one I enjoy asking coaches early on in the season as you kind of get into August here. And once you get past Labor Day, you kind of get to the quote unquote dog days of the football season, late September. What do you enjoy most about Friday Night Lights coming up as a head coach?
I like giving the kids the opportunity to play football. It is special. Football is a tough game for tough people. It's not for everybody. It's a blast. And I just want the kids to have fun. I get to see their emotions, and it brings me back, to a time when I was a kid. We watched that Boys of Fall video, and I told the kids I'm not going to cry this year, and they think I'm going to cry, but we watched the Boys of Fall video before the first game, and just to get them pumped up. And I mean, I'm not going to cry this year, but they think I will. It's just, it's football. Football is special. I haven't played a high school football game in 42 years now. I'm that old. It's been that long, but I still remember it all. It was fun. It was, I love it, and I want the kids to have the same experience.
Larry, thanks so much for your time. As always, best of luck coming up here against the Enderlin Eagles.
All right. I appreciate it, Chase. Have a great day.
That again, Larry Fontaine, head coach of the Maple River Raiders, will continue on our iRe Insurance pregame show after this from Hope.
Located on the beautiful Goose River in Hillsboro, the Goose River Golf Club offers both recreational and experienced golfers a great round. It's a 9-hole course open to the public, located right off exit 104 on I-29. The Goose River Golf Club in Hillsboro offers annual memberships for singles and families, also college memberships, first-time memberships, and outside 30-mile radius of Hillsboro membership available as well. Men's Day is Wednesday, Ladies' Day is Tuesday. You can learn more about getting on the Goose River Golf Club, gooserivergolfclub.com.
Hometown Community Bank serves both the Hope Page and Maple Valley school districts. If you're interested in an egg loan, real estate, consumer, or commercial loan, Hometown Community Bank can serve you. Give Dwight a call at either branch location in Page or Fingal. Ask Janine about the competitive certificates of deposit or money market rates. Hometown Community Bank is a community bank and proud of the communities they serve, and they wish the best of luck to the Maple River Raiders for many years moving forward with the co-op. Hometown Community Bank is a member of the FDIC.
Hope Page Public Schools are committed to the development of all students by providing a high-quality education that is reflective of the strong values in our communities. The staff at Hope Page Public Schools work each day to enable and inspire students to achieve academic excellence and make positive contributions to our world. Learn more about Hope Page Public Schools by visiting hopepage.k12.nd.us. We are Hope Page, and we will change the world.
Farmers, are you expanding, upgrading, or want to automate? Visit with the experienced staff at Hope Electric to learn about the latest electrical systems and the newest technologies that they have developed to make your operation more efficient. Get a custom system in place with features like iPad truck loading and remote view grain storage, touchscreen controls, hazard monitoring systems, and wireless cellular cameras to protect your assets. Hope Electric, serving the agricultural and commercial industry since 1978. Visit hopeelectric.com or call 701-945-2460.
Mother Nature can strike at any time, and Irie Insurance is here to help. Experience the difference with Irie. Get the insurance protection you want with the customer service you deserve. Home insurance, auto insurance, crop insurance, commercial insurance, benefits insurance. We have you covered from head to toe, underground to sky. Go to IrieInsurance.com to get a free quote.
As we continue on our Irie Insurance pregame show here today from Hope, there's another way to manage your farm risks and protect your equality with margin protection from Irie Insurance. The great thing about this and the upcoming policies and protections and input costs, crop prices, and more, you can learn more information in upcoming meetings on August 29th at 8:30 in Devils Lake, at 4 in Hope right here, and August 30th at 8 a.m. in Hillsborough. For more information, visit Irie Insurance online at IrieINS.com. Irie Insurance is an equal opportunity provider. Chase Miller, Nathan Hoots, and Joey Hughes with you here in Hope. 9-man Region 1 games here tonight. There's one non-region. North Border makes the trek from the north side of the state to the south side of the state with the game against the Pirates of Hankinson. All Region 1 games, and after that, Griggs Dakota at Hatton Northwood, Wymer Lidgewood at Richland, and number 2, Lemoore Litchfield Marion in the preseason polls at number 5, Sargent County, who makes their debut back in 9-man football for the first time in over a decade plus. Hoots, when you look at those games in Region 1 tonight, what is one or two games that really stands out to you here in these season openers?
I'll take the layup and say Sargent County and Lemoore to begin. You could argue that whoever wins that is, obviously the region favorite moving forward. Sargent County making the adjustment down to 9-man, coming off of a very successful decade, as you said, in 11-man, making the playoffs several times during that span and having a game last year at the end of the season to get into the playoffs. But losing that game allowed them to opt down into 9-man. But they have something that a lot of teams don't have, and that's a lot of depth. They got 35 kids out this year, and that alone can win you a lot of games in 9-man football, especially around in this area where you see 15 to 20 kids routinely out for games. But Lemoore and all their their program speaks for itself. With all the wins they've had and state championships, it's going to be exciting to see how that game turns out tonight.
We have that game for you on yourliveevent.com as well. Top 5 polled for preseason in North Dakota in 9-man. New Salem Almont receiving 8 first place votes as the defending champs. LLM number 2, North Prairie number 3, West Hope Newburgh Glenburn, which can put up as many points as a Christmas tree when it's lit up for you on the scoreboard at number 4, and Sargent County number 5. Anybody in the top 5 that you thought should be there, Hoots, or is this really, it's anyone's game? I think for me, New Salem, Almont, North Prairie are kind of your 1A, 1B. And I think after that, to see what the first 2-3 weeks of the season looks like, it doesn't feel like there is such a prohibitive favorite that it's someone and everybody else in the clubhouse this year. Yeah,
it has the feeling of being a little bit more wide open this year, but honestly, I think Sargent County might be a little underrated, only being at 5. I expected them to be a little higher up, but when all of those teams that are above them have had so much success in 9-man, that so many voters just go, yep, they were good last year, let's check them off and put them in the top 5. But I could see Sargent County, if they win tonight, jumping up and possibly even into the top spot after this week.
Other games tonight on yourliveevent.com, audio only, with Jake and Jim Berkemeyer. Hillsborough Central Valley at Mayport CG, which was a region rival last season for Maple River. Now they're in 9-man. Number 2, Squirrels Central Cass at number 3, Kindred. Last year was a quarterfinal round matchup in 11B. Now it's called 11A, back to the 3A, 2A, 1A, and 9-man between the Squirrels and Kindred. Lisbon at Northern Cass. The Broncos looking to put on a show in Northern Cass. They have a lot of talent, particularly in the backfield. Then LLM against Sargent County. It's the Region 1 opener for both of these two teams between the Maple River Raiders and the Enderlin Eagles. He's Nathan Hoots. I'm Chase Miller. That's Joey Hughes behind the scenes. That does it for our Irie Insurance pregame show. For more information, go online to IrieINS.com. When we come back, it's the starting lineups and the opening kick from Hope between the Eagles and the Raiders on your live event.
Honesty, loyalty, integrity. At Bank North, we've remained true to these values for generations. They shape the way we do business, work with customers, and support our communities. We've been here for more than a century, helping people grow farms and businesses, finance homes, and pursue their dreams. It's values-based banking, and it's all about working together to strengthen the common threads that bind us together. Bank North, always true.
Maple Valley Parents is a nonprofit organization whose main purpose is to promote, encourage, and support the Maple Valley students, teachers, and staff. MVP strives to strengthen and enhance the educational and social environment of the Maple Valley School District by providing opportunities for students, teachers, and parents to learn, socialize, communicate, and grow together. MVP Group welcomes anyone to join them in their mission. If you'd like to get involved or see upcoming events, check out the Maple Valley Parents Facebook page.
The Maple Valley School District is moving forward with the plan to build a new pre-K classroom, community fitness center, and gymnasium with locker rooms. The classroom will provide more space for a growing pre-K program. The fitness center will provide opportunities to benefit all Maple Valley communities, and the gym will allow more opportunities for all activities of the Maple River Co-op. Plus, the plan is to build with no new taxes. Contact the business manager to see how you can help make this a reality today at 701-749-2570.
It was October 1st, 2009. We needed some machinery for the farm. We decided to see if we could become a dealer, and that's kind of grown into what it's been today.
We offer basically anything short line. Seed tenders, fertilizer spreaders, sprayers. We can really set ourselves apart by the knowledge we have in those things, by the amount of units we have on hand at all times.
I just have a passion for helping people, getting to know people. It just becomes a lot of fun.
In sunny Hope tonight, little overcast with those Canadian wildfires, 86 degrees as we get ready for the starting lineups between the Enderlin Eagles and the Maple River Raiders here on this Friday night. For the Enderlin Eagles, they won the coin toss and elected to defer, so they will start with the ball defensively here, and we'll start with the big guys up front. Defensive ends, a junior Aiden Glarum here at 6'2" at 240, RJ Worrell, a junior at 5'7". Defensive tackles, Brennan Bartholomew and Eric Height. Brennan, a junior, alongside with Eric as well. Anthony Wendell, the senior, wearing number 2 at 5'10", and Oren Adargo, a sophomore, also at linebacker spot here for the Enderlin Eagles. Defensive backfield of Simbira, Gruba, and Christensen. That's Jacob Simbira, who's a junior, Carson, who's a sophomore, and Eli Christensen, who is a senior. The Enderlin Eagles under first-year head coach Bo Deagle taking over for Eric Bergstead. A season ago, Enderlin averaged 11 points per game, while defensively giving up 45 points per game in their 1-8 season. For the Maple River Raiders, they're under the guidance of head coach Larry Fontaine in their second year as this varsity program for the Raiders. And we'll start with the man in the middle at center. He's a senior, Calvin Santrum, the 6 foot at 180-pound senior. Then you have guards of Bobby Bergfield, a 5'10" senior at 161, and then the freshman Owen Tickey getting some playing time here tonight, a 5'11" freshman at 180. A wide receiver on the outside in Steven Drogan, this senior at 5'10". Preston Dowes, a sophomore at 5'10". His older brother is a winger, and he is a senior at 5'9", in Caleb Preston, the tight end, Caleb, the wing back position. Fullback in Connor Dahl, a 5'9" senior fullback. Carter Bosch is the junior tailback at 5'8". And then Team Silling back in his second year as the quarterback here for the Maple River Raiders, a junior at 6'3" and 190 pounds here for Maple River. The Raiders a season ago, 6 wins, 4 losses, averaged 28 points per game. Defensively, gave up 25 points per contest. That does it for our pregame show as we bring in Nathan Hoots. Nathan, what's the final words that you're saying as a coach before we get to opening kickoff here?
Just go out, have fun, play as hard as you possibly can, understand that mistakes are going to be made, just don't make the same mistake twice.
The Enderlin Eagles going to be in their white uniforms here tonight. Well, for the Maple River Raiders, they're in their all-blue uniforms here this evening. The officials, Gary Henlin, Sandy Laxdell, and Jaden Laxdell, Tony Dumas, and then Nick Cruz as well. Here are our 5-man in the stripes here tonight. After this evening for the Raiders, they're on the road to Hankinson next week, then to Windmere-Lidgerwood over Labor Day weekend on that Friday. For the Enderlin Eagles, they go to Lemoore-Litchfield-Marion a week from tonight. Then in their home opener, they will host the Hankinson Pirates on September the 1st. So that's a look ahead for both of these teams as well. The Enderlin Eagles again won the coin toss, elected to defer as we get this one underway. High school football kickoff at the 40. If it goes into the end zone, it's an automatic touchback. If we get to this point throughout the season, 30 points or more is running time in the second half if either team is up by 30. A gorgeous night. Aiden Glarum puts the ball on the tee for the right-handed kicker, right-footed kicker, Carter Bosch and Connor Dahl deep back at their respective 15-yard lines. Opening kick at 7:05 on a Friday night, and the 2023 football season is underway. It's a pooch kick that'll go to about the 25-yard line. Picked up there. This will go to the outside to Bosch. Look out, he's got speed. Bosch 40, Bosch to the 50. Can Glarum catch him? 30, Bosch to the 25, and he's wrapped up at the 19-yard line. Carter Bosch, how do you do to start the 2023 football season?
That's quite the start to your football career there, Chase. Got outside, and nice job by the guys on this side of the field here, sealing the edge, and kind of took it to the – I thought he took it to the house. He's probably going to regret getting caught by a guy wearing number 99, but that's a heck of a start.
Well, Larry Fontaine said, I don't know if I've ever coached someone quicker than Carter Bosch, and we saw it right off the shoot. At the 25 is where he picked it up, gets it all the way to the opposing 19-yard line. A 56-yard kickoff return here for Carter Bosch. 1st and 10 for the Raiders as they'll have it at the Enderlin Eagle 19-yard line. I formation, dot in that I, as they come out here under center is Silling. Silling looks down the middle, pump fake, gonna keep it now, rolls to the right-hand side, puts the left shoulder pad down and makes his way to around the 15-yard line.
I think you're going to see a lot more of that this year. There were so many times that T would sit in the pocket a little too long last year, and his receivers did such a good job last season finding so much separation he didn't have to scramble. This year I think he's going to live by that. They're going to take 5 or 6 yards every single time on first down.
And interesting, Hoots, Carter Bosch didn't line up in the backfield that time. He lined up at the tight end spot, it looked like, during a crossing pattern.
I think Coach Fontaine's going to do a good job of making them identify where he's lining up every single possession.
Wishbone formation. We saw this a ton last year for the Maple River Raiders in their route to a postseason berth. Carter Bosch on the pitch play, gets to the 10-yard line, and Aiden Glarum there with the wrap-up right at about the line to gain. We'll see if they give him enough for the first down. And they will. First down here, 1st and 10 here on the 5-yard run. And they'll say it's going to be a first down here for Carter Bosch.
Raiders did a nice job. It took 2 guys to seal the edge. You'd love in 9-man football to be able to have 1 guy take care of that edge and then cut it upfield inside of him. But, hey, 5-6 yards a pop every single time, you're going to take it.
And for the Maple River Raiders, a really good start, and that's something that both of these coaches, and it's coach speak, Hoots, but anytime you get to a new season, like a kickoff return like that started it off for Carter Bosch, that can really open up everyone to kind of just take a big, deep sigh of relief, if you will, for the Raiders.
That's exactly right.
T. Silling goes under center here. This will be a little fullback, and I think we had a false start on the left-hand side by Steven Drogan for our first penalty of the game.
It's tough enough when you got 1st and goal from the 9. Now you're going to look at 1st and goal from the 15. Plenty of space in 9-man football, but you'd love to be playing ahead of the sticks.
They were looking for a little fullback trap play to Connor Dahl, but Drogan just got out just enough, and that's something early on in the season that, as you mentioned, Hoots, you expect kind of as a coach, you don't want those penalties, but every now and then those mental cues in the first game of the year.
Exactly. You don't want to dig too deep into the playbook early on. You probably look for something to get those 5 yards back here and get yourself back in goal to go.
Wishbone formation here again. Under center is Silling, the junior quarterback. Silling, drop, looks, rolls, right-hand side. Connor Dahl goes on the flat across the middle, coming back for it, incomplete. Looking for the intended Preston Dowes on the play. Pretty good coverage, not a bad throw, but we do have a yellow hanky again. This one is going to be back in the end zone.
Very likely we have some type of defensive holding or defensive pass interference.
And
we're going to wave it off.
No flag. So there we go. Even the officials, Hoots, need to have one early on.
Sometimes the official gets moving a little too fast, they'll run right out of it.
Chase Miller, Nathan Hoots, Joey Hughes with you here. Thank you so much for tuning in to Maple River and Enderlin Eagle football here tonight on YourLiveEvent.com. Go to YourLiveEvent.com for the complete game schedule throughout the season. Volleyball a couple weeks away, about a week and a half away from officially getting going as well. So 2nd and goal, nearly at the 15-yard line here for the Raiders as they come out in an I formation. Dot in the I this time is going to be Bosch as Silling goes back under center. Option, speed option, one block, trying to get a second. Silling puts the foot down into the turf, gets to the 5, and almost into the end zone. He's right in front of you, Hoots, at about the 2 to 3 yard line.
That was a great cutback. Unfortunately, Connor Dahl got out in front, and he kind of went by the first guy. You'd like to see him pick up the first guy he sees in a different color jersey, but T did a nice job of still cutting inside and making sure he didn't go for the sideline. He got as many yards as he could.
And so 3rd and goal here, 3rd goal and very manageable as the ball will be spotted at about the 2, maybe 3 yard line.
Just inside the 2 yard line. Here.
Just inside the 2. Eagle Eyes Hoots is roaming the sideline here right off the bat. Love it on this Friday night. This will go back under center. We've seen the wishbone, we've seen the speed option, we've seen the trap. What does Larry Fontaine and the Raiders call here? They go the trap. Connor Dahl into the end zone. And for the first time this season, the Raiders are on the board with a 2-yard rushing touchdown by Connor Dahl.
There's a couple different ways you can attack teams when you have small but more athletic linemen, and they're doing both of them here. They've got them out on the edge pulling on those outside runs. Otherwise, you can run trap where you double team that nose and then running right off of his butt, and they're doing that.
Connor Dahl able to get that one and give credit, I think, to Hoots to the offensive line opening up the hole there for Dahl.
And all you need is just a quick little seam when you run those traps, and they had just what they needed to get in.
So coming up now is the 2-point conversion. I think we saw 1, maybe 2-point after attempts last year in 9-man football for our coverages here in Hope. This will be a wishbone formation again. Rolling, right-hand side, Silling, looking, end zone, got a man into the end zone for the 2-point conversion to Preston Dowse. Silling and Dowse, and the Maple River Raiders take an 8-0 lead here on YourLiveEvent.com.
I'm Darian Bitts. I'm confident on and off the field. And when it's time for college, I'm confident Bank of North Dakota will help me make good student loan decisions. Visit bnd.nd.gov/confident.
I'm Doug Gray. I'm confident during the performance and when it's time for college. I'm confident Bank of North Dakota will help me make good student loan decisions. Visit bnd.nd.gov/confident.
Well, to start a kickoff was awfully large right off the bat with a kickoff on the way that went from the 25 of Maple River all the way to the 19-yard line of Enderlin with Carter Bosch. And even though a 1st and goal at the 9, there was a penalty, they were able to still muster their way into the end zone here, Nathan Hoots, in a drive that elapses 2 minutes, 17 seconds on a 19-yard touchdown drive.
Yeah, I was really worried about the size of up front for the Raiders, and like I said, you can beat them with quick hitters and stuff to get your guys moving to the outside. It's a really nice job calling plays that first possession by Coach Fontaine.
As for the Maple River Raiders, 2 runs by Silling for 17 yards, a 5-yard run by Bosch, and then a 2-yard rush by Connor Dahl and the end zone as Maple River will put this one on the tee. Calvin Satchram here for Maple River. Back for the Enderlin Eagles is Anthony Wendell. Alongside with him is Carson Gruba. So for the Enderlin Eagles, they'll have a chance the first time this season to get their hands on the football here. Out in their black helmets with the Enderlin Eagle on either side with the white trim, the white numbers and the orange and black trim for Maple River. One side has the numbers, the other side has the Raider logo. Right-footed kick by Satcham will come right in front of us in the near sideline. It's a live football and goes out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Almost skidding there was Steven Drogan, but he probably needed about another 3 yards closer to him to have a chance on that one.
A little nerves, I'm assuming, the first time he put the ball on the tee in a game this year, but it was always my idea to make him kick it again, because in 9-man football you saw what happened on that opening kickoff. I'd love for him to move back 5 yards and have to do it again, but sometimes the 35 is not a terrible thing.
So for Maple River, the Enderlin Eagles will have it. Now they got to talk about it. Where are they putting it? At the 35-yard line here.
thought it was where it went out of bounds, but you did say the 37, but maybe they had it marked somewhere different.
That's what I was wondering as well, but either way, it's 1st and 10 here for the Enderlin Eagles. Pistol formation, Carson Gruba, the sophomore quarterback at 5'10". Little read option play. This will go right up to Wendell. Wendell takes a hard hit, able to muster his way for 3 yards before being wrapped up by the defensive end in Calvin Satrup.
You can make a lot of assumptions as to how a game is going to go on the first couple plays offensively for each team, and Maple River is holding their own right now, even though they are undersized against this Eagle front.
Yeah, you got Brennan Bartholomew at a guard, Sam Lulay, and also R.J. Worley here, the center for the Enderlin Eagles for the guys up front. Back to a one wide receiver either side, pistol formation, high snap, it's a free ball, and getting back on it, fortunately, for the Enderlin Eagles is Carson Gruba, and coming unevaded on the outside there, right on the hat hoops, was Mr. Silling.
Yeah, and it's going to be, you know, as I was watching them line up here, you got both Bartholomew and Glarum lining up in that left guard and, you know, left tight end, and then you got Silling lined up against him. That's going to be quite the matchup to watch all night.
So for the Enderlin Eagles, 3rd down and long, they will need just past the 45-yard line right in front of us here in the press box for the 1st down, as we're nearing nearly 4 minutes surpassed here in this first quarter. It's another snap that runs wild. Silling trying to get on the football. Who has it? It's Wendell or Silling, and I'm going to say it's going to be down and Enderlin Eagle football.
Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see the angle that I had. That was not the correct call. The guy did not have possession of it. But either way, the Raiders are in good position, having them backed up at their 15, punting.
So for the Enderlin Eagles, they'll have to come out here now and snap the football off after R.J. Worley had a really good snap to start to Mr. Carson Gruba. 2 ones that just were unable to get to the QB there in Carson Gruba. And now it's Mr. Aiden Glarum back to punt on the fringe of his own goal line. Back to return is Bosch at the 45. Glarum, the right-footed, beautiful kick, takes Bosch all the way back to his own 47. Bosch looks for a block, takes one 45, got to the 40, makes a man miss 35, and he's wrapped up by Glarum at the 33-yard line.
You know, it's an underrated thing. There's a lot of things you're an athlete, you can translate to the football field, but fielding a punt is not one of those things. That takes a lot of practice. That was impressive to see the way that he fielded that ball that was kind of over his shoulder and then turn around and turn something into nothing.
So you're going to have it at the positive territory for back-to-back possessions here for the Raiders. And Maple River looking to jump out early here against the Enderlin Eagles. Last season, these two teams played here in Hope on September the 23rd. Maple River won 48-6 in that contest. Tight eye formation, Bosch dots the I. 4-down lineman here for the Eagles. Silling, little quick speed, gets a block, gets to the 30-yard line and passes away to the 25 and nearly down to the 24, as on the tackle is Brennan Bartholomew.
You know, it's kind of a 3-man lead sweep there. You get your tight end out, you get your fullback and your other running back out in front of T, and those guys were searching for someone to block until 5 yards downfield. That's a good problem to have if you're a Raider.
3 carries for 26 yards so far here for Silling. Center of Calvin Santrum, Owen Tickey, and Bobby Bergfield again on the line, going up against the likes of Eric Height, Brennan Bartholomew, Aiden Glarum, and on the outside here for the Enderlin Eagles. Wishbone formation, as you'll have Dowse, that's Caleb, and Bosch in the backfield. This will go right down Broadway, and Connor Dahl with a nice head of steam gets his way into the red zone for a 5-yard rush.
If he runs behind his shoulder pads like he did right there, there is not a man on the roster of the Eagles that can take him down on first contact. He is falling forward for an extra couple of yards each time.
As this contest so far for Maple River, we have yet to see T. Silling truly throw one up in the air hoots outside of one time where he did a tuck and run and then the 2-point conversion. Everything has been on the ground early for Coach Fontaine's squad.
I think that's just the way he likes it. He just set him up, run, and then play action.
As they will come out wishbone formation again. Silling. This will go off, and a little head of steam here for Bosch. Makes a man miss to the 15, tries to step arm a man to the 5. End zone, touchdown! A hot-stepping Carter Bosch from 19 yards out for the score, and the Raiders now lead it 14-0 as the cannon is off again here in Hope.
3 total missed tackles, a couple stiff arms, and quite the finish into the end zone. This is a fantastic start here for the Raiders.
And so far, the Carter Bosch aspect, I think, on tape for other teams in Region 1 for the remainder of the season is how do you get to the edge, but also how do you find a shifty guy like Carter Hoots and tackle the man, for crying out loud, who didn't play football last season.
That boy is built for 9-man football. It's going to be a level of excitement that comes with him. He's not exactly the same runner that we had last year with Hovelson, but it's a different aspect.
As you'll have the wishbone formation against Silling, fakes the pitch, looks to the left-hand side. Drogan is there, caught for the 2-point conversion. Silling 2 for 2 in the air on a 2-point conversion. And on new score, 7:02 left to play in the opening quarter. Maple River 16, the Enderlin Eagles scoreless.
This is Chris from RDK Enterprises, your local precision planting dealer. Now is the time to take note of any issues you may have experienced with your planter while it's fresh in your mind. We can come out, walk the fields with you, and talk over these concerns and put a plan together. For a limited time, save $50 per row when you buy Delta Force from RDK Enterprises. Cash discounts are also available upon qualifying purchase. Take advantage of these discounts and contact us today. RDK Enterprises, 701-636-2119 or planterdoc.com.
New arrival on the lot at Ziegler Ag Equipment, Highway 9 North Ada, 2014 Versatile DT550 with power shift, 36-inch track, 1,700 hours. Talk to Chuck O'Neill for more information and the harvest season sale price. Ziegler Ag Equipment also has these new trades: 2 Caterpillar 259 track skid steers, priced right, and the new tillage equipment trades, 30-foot sunflower disc, plus Amity beet equipment parts, and they stock all shovels for your tillage equipment needs. Ziegler Ag Equipment, Highway 9 North Ada.
Here on YourLiveEvent.com, 2 possessions in Enderlin Eagle territory and 2 touchdowns here for the Enderlin Eagles. That last score capped off by Carter Bosch taking it to the house just inside 20 yards, Silling to Drogan on the 2-point passing conversion, and it's all Maple River here early. But just the second possession of the game, still over a half in this first quarter, but at the end of the day right now, the Enderlin Eagles just looking for something positive offensively after a 3-and-out. As Santrum puts this ball on the tee, here's a end-over-end kick that's going to go all the way back to the 22-yard line. Wendell's there, runs into his own man at the 33-yard line and taken down at the 35 by Drogan. So ball will be at the 35-yard line. Back-to-back possessions here for the Eagles that they started off at their own 35. And the big thing, Hoots, on that first one was just obviously with that pistol formation, just the center to quarterback exchange. And as we mentioned, sometimes it's early on the season. You might have some jitters, and we'll see what happens the second time around.
Yep, they're coming out in it to begin, so it must be their identity.
As you have RJ again under center Worley here. Good clean snap, handoff Wendell. Wendell meets a man that's Dahl and able to bounce off him, kind of like the old Oklahoma drill. Almost lost the ball, but Wendell showing you his size at 5'10", able to rumble his way for 6.5, make it 7 yards.
Yeah, the defensive line actually got a little too much pressure and kind of overran the ball there, and then it was offensive linemen against linebackers, which led to 6 yards on the first down.
So far, we've kind of seen a stretch play once or twice, and then the read option early here for the Enderlin Eagles. In the backfield again is Wendell, the sophomore quarterback in Carson Gruba. High snap, gets the handoff this time, and Silling with the wrap-up takedown right back to the line of Wendell.
Both him and another newbie on the Raider football team, Dylan Zahn, got some really good pressure there. It's exciting to see guys that have never come out and played football get success early on.
Talk us through the QB and center exchange shoots, the timing in football. How critical is that, whether it's a shotgun, pistol, or under center?
You don't have an offense unless that is perfect, and you have to work it over and over and over and over again. And a guy wearing number 28 maybe hasn't done it a whole lot before this year, so he's going to have to work through those. But I would advise not missing a snap this direction towards Silling.
As this will be a straight handoff here. Gruba breaks out of 1, not 2. Oh, what a play by Gruba. He needed the 45 and some, and he gets it. He broke not 1, not 2, and then just hurled his way past the 45 for the first down.
Being able to make guys miss with, missed ankle tackles by the Raiders there cost them a first down.
And just like the Maple River Raiders so far, when you look down, 0 passing plays here for the Enderlin Eagles. There's been 6 offensive plays, and they've all been on the ground so far. In the backfield now is Eli Christensen, a 5'7" senior, with Gruba in the backfield. Hard count, trying to get the Raiders offside. Here's a passing attempt on the way. They get it off. It's in danger territory, and Carter Bosch almost comes down with the pick as he was guarding on the outside there, Jacob Simbura.
Great defensive line pressure there, and then got a chance to make a play on the ball. And you know what? A lot of good things can happen when the ball gets in the air and it's 50-50, and Bosch is going to be right there. They're going to like the way that looks the rest of the year.
And you mentioned the pressure. That was Calvin Satchram, the defensive end, a senior, coming nearly unevaded from our side to your side of the football field there, Hoots.
Yeah, when you send 4 guys out on a passing route, 9-man football, that quarterback has got to make a decision in a hurry.
One thing Larry Fontaine was talking about, wasn't sure how the defense was going to look early on the season because there was a lot of turnover on that side of the ball. So far, it's been pretty good. We'll see what the Eagles drop on 2nd and 10. Gruba tries to get by a man, and then he's wrapped up in the backfield. Give a lot of credit to Silling for blowing that play up, and then coming in the back was Santrum and a host of others.
I'm glad you could see that from up there because he is not getting credit for anything in the stat sheet right there, but 2 guys took him out of the play but allowed those linebackers to fill easily and make that play without anyone in front of them.
So 3rd and long here for the Enderlin Eagles as they will need to get to the Maple River nearly 44-yard line with 4:45 left in this first quarter play. A hot, sticky night, kind of have those little Canadian wildfires across the way, but it feels like always is the opening weekend of football. Warm and humid typically here in North Dakota.
Lots of bugs.
Lots of bugs as well. 3rd down and long. Little pressure coming here. Gruba trying to evade a sack, but he can't, and Silling wraps him up back at the 30. Larry Fontaine with a grin ear to ear right there after Silling comes down with the sack.
He just tried to one-on-one block him, and he's going to go right by him. Made a good pass rush move. Did not get deeper than the quarterback, which you cannot do as a defensive end, and took him down.
So 2 possessions here for the Enderlin Eagles. They had to punt last time with Glarum, with Aiden, and now they'll have to do it again here. So far, if you're Larry Fontaine, you loved what you've seen. If you're Bo Deagle, you say there's been some shots in the foot by themselves that has led so far to this particular contest. And they're, speaking of a shot in the foot, this will come off the side and bounce at about the 33-yard line. So a 3-yard punt, 1st and 10 again for the Raiders in Eagle territory.
It's unfortunate how it came off the foot there, and with how great his first kick was. You'd like to see a similar one if you're Coach Deagle, but not everything's going to go your way. Take a timeout here and try to regroup a bit.
We'll break with them here in the first quarter. It's the Raiders up by 16 on your liveevent.com.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in North Dakota. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the NDHSAA and the North Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Out-of-town scoreboard here in 11A football. The Lisbon Broncos lead it over the Northern Cache Jaguars 8-0. Sargent County, Lemoore Litchfield Marion also tonight on your live events. As well with them, the Central Cache Squirrels and the Kindred Vikings. It's Kindred 7, Central Cache scoreless nearly at the end of quarter number 1. Hillsborough Central Valley against Mayport CG scoreless as they begin play in the second quarter. And in Milner tonight between the Sargent County Bulldogs and Lemoore Litchfield Marion Lobos. We'll get to a out-of-town score here in a moment. Nathan Hoots, what have you liked so far from this particular game that we're seeing here tonight?
Oh, just kind of spreading it around. A lot of guys have touched the ball thus far for the Raiders. You know, pretty much everybody in the backfield, including Silling, getting a couple carries. Both the tight ends got a 2-point conversion reception, so spreading the wealth, trying to figure out here as we move on through the season who are the guys you can count on, what are their strengths and weaknesses, and try to play to those strengths.
As they'll come out 1st and 10 here, ball spotted at the 33-yard line in the wishbone with Silling. Silling, pitch play. This will go out to Connor Dahl. Dahl cuts back at the 35-30, spins his way to about the 27-yard line on the play. Coming up with a tackle there looked to be Bartholomew for the Eagles.
Trying to get Dahl on the edge every time he's touched the ball. Has just been on that quick trap up the 0 hole pretty much, and giving him a look on the outside at least gives Enderlin a different look on the ground with Dahl with the ball in his hand.
3 carries for 13 yards for Mr. Dahl so far here tonight. Silling 3 for 26, and then Carter Bosch 2 carries for 24 yards. Second and medium here for the Raiders. A little trap play coming up. Carter Bosch trying to get to the edge. He does. 25 to the 20. Numbers, look out, 15-10. Bosch to the 5, bounces off a tackle, and Carter Bosch for the second time tonight hits Pater this from 27 yards. Bosch with 3 carries now for 51 yards, 2 scores, and it's all Maple River early at 22-0.
I think if you're an Eagle fan, you're kind of holding your breath every time 3 touches the ball right about now. He's made something positive happen every time the ball's been in his hands.
50 seconds, 2 plays for the score here. And so far, what Larry Fontaine said earlier in the week when just asking about new players, and obviously losing an all-state caliber running back like Clay Hovelson, asking about how do you replace that, and he goes, well, Carter Bosch is pretty fast, and if we can get him out to the edge, I'm not sure a lot of teams are going to catch him, and so far that's been right on point here, Hoots.
Exactly right. He was texting me that earlier this year, and I was like, you haven't even seen him play yet, and he's like, just trust me.
Wishbone formation, Silling under center, fakes it, looks, rolls right-hand side. Enderlin does a good job defending it, and they get the incompletion on the outside. Coming up there looks to be Jacob Simbira on the coverage. But it's a touchdown regardless. Maple River leads 22-0 on YourLiveEvent.com.
Dakota Heritage Bank, serving you with 10 locations across North Dakota and northwestern Minnesota, has a strong background in ag and business lending, but they can also help with auto, recreational, personal, or home loans, including home equity lines of credit. Dakota Heritage Bank is a family-owned community bank where decisions are made locally. Our friendly staff greets you with a smile, takes the time to get to know you, and can help you with your banking needs. Visit us online, dhbanknd.com. Dakota Heritage Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Hey growers, when working on your water management solutions, call Chad's Excavating out of Mayville. They are your water management contractor, helping you with tile drainage plans, service drainage plans, or both. Remember, water management is a lifetime investment. Call Chad 701-430-0182 to get your water problem solved. For more information, follow Chad's Excavating on Facebook. For tile drainage and service plans, call 701-430-0182. Chad's Excavating out of Mayville, helping farmers grow.
As we come back here, as we're in the waning moments of the first quarter, the Enderlin Eagles trailing at 22-0 against the Maple River Raiders. For these teams moving forward, Maple River with a road contest to Hankinson a week from tonight. Well, for the Enderlin Eagles, they'll travel to Lemoore, Litchfield, Marion. Putting the ball on the tee is Calvin Santrum. Back for the Enderlin Eagles again is Wendell, and alongside Carson Gruba. Going from right to left across your screen, or from the east to the west end zone, as this will be a short end-over-end kick picked up by the up man here, and that'll be on the outside by Eli Christensen, as that'll get past the 40 into the 43-yard line. One thing for Enderlin Hoots, they've had great starting field position, 35, 35, and now their own 43-yard line.
Absolutely, and little freshman Trent Warren comes in and makes his first tackle on varsity. That was kind of a big one. He had a seam down the sideline if he doesn't make that play.
For the Enderlin Eagles right now, as the sun is starting to get more into its evening pattern, will come out and try to get past that 45, get into Maple River territory for the first time here tonight. Shotgun formation for Gruba with Wendell to the left. For the Maple River Raiders, they'll see a quarterback keeper, and Gruba gets popped by not one but two Raiders. Going up high was Connor Dahl for the wrap-up.
You never want to tell a coach exactly what to do calling plays, but there's got to be a passing play in here sometime. These linemen or linebackers from Maple River are just reading run every single play. If any type of a play action, you're going to have guys running wide open if he can get rid of it before the pressure comes.
Owen Tickey, part of that 1-2 combination on the tackle. The freshman for Maple River playing just over that guard spot here in this contest defensively. Shotgun again. We'll see if they go to Hoots' draw up. Instead, Gruba gets the outside here and gets right back to the line before he's hot-tied down there for a 1-yard pickup. Dylan Zahn, you mentioned his name earlier, in on the tackle.
He is. He could cause some problems against big burly linemen that don't get off the ball very fast. He is certainly flying off the ball. Any type of a tough snap count might get him the way he's popping off the ball when they're saying hut, but kudos to him so far in his first game.
The Maple River Raiders a season ago, when they won averaged a 42-9 win. When they lost, it was 49-9. We'll see if that trend continues here this season. At least if you're a Maple River fan, you like what the positives are of that particular trend. Speed option here, and somehow able to stay off the hit of Connor Dahl was Carson Gruba, and he gets about another yard. But we're hearing the pads popping tonight in Hope.
Yeah, Calvin Satcham did a really nice job there. First option you've seen all year. And granted, I know it's the first game of the year, but the first time he's seen option, he did a great job of taking away the pitch man and making the quarterback cut back up inside. I believe the way they had it aligned, he had to have had pitch man. He was probably the outside man. Force that quarterback to come back in and let your outside linebacker and middle linebacker fill.
And where it is on the field and on the scoreboard, Enderlin's deciding to go for it here on 4th and a long 7. They will need the Raider about 47-yard line for the first. Gruba rolls right-hand side, QB keeper, and he's going to be wrapped up for a 1-yard loss by Mr. Silling, and it's going to be Maple River football.
D linemen from Maple River just keep knifing right through, right off the snap. They are beating those offensive linemen up and up the field, and good things are happening.
So turnover on downs here as we will have now the 4th possession for the Maple River Raiders, as this will come here for Maple River and be with 40 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Again, in positive territory at the Enderlin 43. All 4 possessions have been in Eagle territory at the 19, 33, 33, and 43-yard line. Silling with the wishbone formation here will come out, give it off to Connor Dahl. Dahl rumbling his way to the 40, bringing Window with him to the 36-yard line.
Things you can add to a coach's, worries when it comes into first game is ball security. They haven't taken many hits yet this fall camp, likely. Connor got the ball, 2 hands over it, absorbed the first contact, did not let that left hand get off the ball and just kept chugging.
And for Maple River, they don't have to snap it if they don't want to, but they're getting right back to the ball here, and we'll see if they get a playoff before the end of the first quarter.
Watch for something fun here.
Wishbone formation with Silling, second and short. Handoff, this goes to Bosch, 35-30, look out of a cannon, 20, 10, end zone, touchdown. It's a hat trick for Carter Bosch in the first half as the Raiders lead at 28-rip.
Well, that's not like the fun play design I was hoping for, with the second and short last play of the quarter, but, when it ain't broke, don't fix it.
4 carries, 87 yards, and 3 touchdowns for Carter Bosch so far here in this first quarter. And the Maple River Raiders are looking to put 30 on the board. That's fun if you're Larry Fontaine. You're running the counter, Hoots. That's what he wants to run. That's what his fun is.
Power sweep and counter. We've seen about 3 plays so far, and that's all you got to do if you're running the ball well.
He loves the wishbone, and why not when it's working like this? Back under center, fullback trap. This will go, and the stretch on the way for Connor Dahl is into the end zone. After 12 minutes of football here in Hope, North Dakota tonight, it's the Maple River Raiders 32. The Enderlin Eagles will get the ball when we return here on your live events.
Triple E Incorporated in Page is cheering on the Raiders as they compete on and off the court and field. They put in the effort to build a team with trust, experience, and the ability to accomplish their goals. The team at Triple E Incorporated is built the same way, with knowledge and experience, with timeliness and efficiency. For your next non-residential building project, go online to eeeinc.com or stop by the office in Page for more information. Make your next project a winner with the team at Triple E Incorporated in Page.
At Enbridge, we believe sustainability is the foundation of our success. How well we perform as a steward of our environment, a safe operator of essential energy infrastructure, a good neighbor, and a diverse employer defines our success. Learn more about Enbridge's environmental, social, and governance commitments and our Indigenous Reconciliation Plan at enbridge.com.
Chase Miller, Nathan Hoots, Joey Hughes with you here in Hope, North Dakota tonight on yourliveevent.com. Still to come once we get to our halftime show. Take a look at the first half numbers, your out-of-town scoreboard for any scores that we get across the way, and more. That's all still to come here on yourliveevent.com. Again, 30-0 Maple River over the Enderlin Eagles. Nathan Hoots, first 12 minutes of football Carter Bosch obviously is the story here, but there's been good line play both on offense and defensive sides of the football for Maple River. If you're the Enderlin Eagles, you feel like you maybe shot yourselves in the foot once or twice, whether it's on special teams or offensively, to where it shouldn't maybe be as lopsided if you're Coach Bo Deagle. But again, game number one, you're going to have some miscues, and we've seen that from both teams. Just what's your opening assessment here in the opening 12 minutes?
Yeah, couldn't have drawn up a better first quarter for the Raiders. Kind of everything they wanted to do, they have done. You got to be impressed with the undersides line on both sides of the ball, kind of dominating this whole first quarter. But Enderlin, there's a lot of things that you can still do. You got a lot of big boys. You got some young talent. Just let them, work through this. It may not end up going in your favor, but just work through these kinks and see what you can find moving into next week.
For the Enderlin Eagles in Maple River, there was a co-op between Maple Valley School District and the Enderlin School District, EMV. Last year was in 2021. Second year, it's their first varsity program by themselves from last year after having it in the 80s and the 90s. But now for Enderlin's second year here in nine-man by themselves, as Satcham puts this one on the tee, and for the second time he's going to hook it out of bounds like my golf swing, as it'll go after the 30-yard line into about the 35.
It's a draw, Chase,
Oh,
not
it's
a hook.
draw.
It's
Okay,
a draw.
however you like to say it. I just can't hit it straight. How about that?
All right.
Second quarter will start here for Enderlin. As we mentioned, good starting field position for the Eagles. But now for Enderlin, how do you start muscling up some offense here, Hoots? Because I looked down at my stat sheet, 8 carries, minus 13 yards for Gruba, and Wendell 4 for minus 7.
The number one thing that I would think about with how much defensive line pressure they've got, some type of a screen, some type of a draw that lets the D lineman get up the field and then take advantage of them being aggressive and probably just a little more athletic than your offensive line. Something a little different here.
We'll see what Enderlin goes back to after going shotgun, back to more of that pistol look with Carson Gruba. Here's the snap, handoff. Wendell makes a man miss, gets the 35 and dragging Raiders with him to about the 39-yard line.
That's a good, tough run. It's a very long developing play, which kind of worked in their favor because the Raider defensive lineman got a little too far up the field and didn't really break down to make the tackle.
Enderlin Eagles, you go back to 1984 when they were in nine-man football, lost to Cooperstown in the semifinals. 94, lost to Rolla in 94, and then 2011 lost to Linton in the Class A at that time, semifinals, 21-20.
That was a heck of a game.
A little background. We might get Hoots' thoughts on that 2011 matchup here after this play. Wendell bouncing off of one or two players. Carter Bosch is going to say, you know what? I'm at your left foot. I am not going – I'm going to give you the left foot back, and see some other blue jerseys to come and help him out with the tackle for about a couple-yard run.
That 2011 season was quite the season. They had to win in Northern Cass on the final night of the year. And a man named Wade Steitel made a game-saving tackle, and they missed a field goal at the buzzer, which allowed us to get in as the 4 seed. We went in the first round and beat number 1 ranked Harvey, and then we beat a top 5 ranked Oaks team in the second round, and then lost on an extra point with like 5 seconds left to lose 21-20 in that semi.
As they come out here, third down, needing the 45 for the first. Gruba has a lane, gets the first down and some as the Enderlin Eagles are knocking at midfield. Carson Gruba will get about a 5-yard, make it a 6-yard carry here, and those are 3 consecutive positive plays. And as always, Shoots, you're always looking for the positive, being the optimist here. And if you're Coach Bo Deagle, that's been the best 3 plays combined offensively or defensively here tonight for Enderlin.
You got to have a smile on your face after that, that possession right there, getting 3 straight positive plays, moving the ball forward. Well done. See if they can build off of that.
Opening up a little bit of lanes right now here for Gruba and Wendell. Shotgun formation here for Gruba. Snap going to be behind him. It's open. Picking it up is going to be Adargo. Silling blew up the quarterback Gruba to try to allow Preston Downs to pick it up. But what Preston saw was 40 yards of real estate in front of him and left the football. And Adargo is fortunate he's able to pounce back on it, even though it's a loss of about 8 yards.
Now everybody yells, oh, just fall on it, get possession. But if you would have fallen on it, everybody would have said, well, look what was in front of you. Should have scooped it and scored. So there's no win right there. Unfortunately, they didn't get possession. But, take a chance. Try to get 6. Big plays win games.
And it goes again from the snap on that particular one here for the Enderlin Eagles, as they do have the snapper here still being R.J. Worley. This one will be by Gruba, gets past the 30, make it the 40, hops his way to the 42 for a gain of 1.
good pressure once again, and on this side, the end over here just stayed on that pitch back, made sure that quarterback had to cut it back into the teeth of the defense, and the linebackers did their job.
And now we'll have 9 minutes about left to play before we get to the first half numbers here in a contest that's nearly 40 minutes old in Hope tonight. If you're a Hope Page Maple Valley, meaning Maple River fan, you love when the cannon goes off. If you're a visitor, you don't like the sound of that in Hope. Pistol formation again. Gruba gets a block, has some time, throws it down the field. It's going to be picked off. The intended receiver was Glarum, and it's picked off on the way by Mr. Steven Drogan. Drogan at the 40-yard line with the INT.
That was a great job undercutting that pass. It was just underthrown. He had him by a step, but he did a good job of making a play underneath.
For the first time, Maple River will start a drive in their own territory here in the second quarter, with 8:40 left to play before we get to the half. And that was the first time really that Carson, who said it had chance. They made the steps, but just didn't lead the receiver enough there in Glarum.
Exactly right. And the first time you have an opportunity to throw it, sometimes you don't set your feet and get your whole body into it, and I think that's kind of what happened right there.
I formation, dot in the I is going to be Bosch here. Motion man going right to left is Caleb Dowse across the formation. Little speed as they go to the outside here to the numbers. Silling into Enderlin Eagle territory, 45, and he makes his way to the 40, and we have a flag coming.
We're going to have a horse collar to finish it off here.
And it's going to be right now about a 20-yard rush, plus if it is that horse collar face mask coming, there will be added yards at the end of the play. But what is that particular formation that we've seen with the 1, 2, 3, almost kind of like a bobsled hoots out in front, if you will, and Silling just kind of driving that bobsled at the very end? What's that allowed him? What have you seen from his ability to run?
If you're patient, then it's perfect because you can just read every single block and cut off of those. But sometimes people get a little impatient and just run right by those blockers and then run into a tackler. T did an excellent job of just, he ran probably about 75% the whole way until he kicked it down right at the end and put his shoulder down and got an extra couple yards.
So you're going to have a face mask that has declined here. So far for Silling, 4 carries for 45 yards. Here for the junior QB. Handoff, this goes to Dahl. Little trap play, makes his way close to the 30-yard line, and he's going to be maybe a hair short of that first down.
I think, Enderlin, there's, things that you want to work on and you're going to be able to see on film. Orion Adargo there, I think he's going to be a real good player. He just tried to tackle a guy that's bigger than him too high. If you take him on the shoulders, I think you're going to end up getting planted more often than not.
And to Adargo, too, and you're going to see this a lot in 9-man football, who's still only an underclassman, the opportunity to develop, to continue to grow a really good frame.
Yeah, he's got a great frame, and I think he turned into a really good player.
Second and short here for the Raiders. Ball about at the 30-yard line. This goes to the outside. That'll be to Caleb Dowse. Dowse then gets muscled away. Really good gang tackling there by Enderlin to push him out of bounds at about the 26-yard line.
Got some heavy breathing kids out here right now. They're getting a lot of reps in the heat and humidity here. It wasn't great fakes. I'm sure something that Coach Fontaine will probably harp on, that you can't run a counter if we're not going to execute it looking like 100%. You're getting the ball every time.
Yeah, this is one where, again, you're playing against a different opponent. It's hot, it's sticky. You got the anxiousness of it as well, but right now you're into that second quarter, and Maple River is knocking at the door yet again. 1st and 10 for Silling under center for the Raiders. Chance to throw. Silling looking for Bosch. Throws it in front of him. Bosch with the catch into the end zone. And he's in for another touchdown. Carter Bosch with his 4th touchdown of the game. This time receiving of 26 yards and the score.
Chase, I don't think the view that our awesome cameraman is going to be able to do justice to that throw right there. I had no idea where Bosch was. T threw it about 2 seconds before I noticed where he was at and hit him right in stride. That was absolutely perfect. But give some giant credit to the offensive line. T was back there just scanning for 5 seconds.
That could be called how a quarterback throws someone open, where you continue to lead them in front. And I think T. Silling, if there was a 4x4, he threw it right where he needed to in terms of to give Carter Bosch an opportunity to catch and score.
That's exactly right. I mean, you got a guy that's, if you can give him protection, he's going to be able to find the guy open. And there's no way, if Enderlin's not going to get any defense defensive pressure, Bosch is going to get open eventually.
As they'll go wishbone formation again, this one under center, fullback trap, a dive on the way for Dahl is into the end zone, and it's good. It's now 38-0 here for the Raiders, midway point of the second quarter on your liveevent.com.
Located on the beautiful Goose River in Hillsboro, the Goose River Golf Club offers both recreational and experienced golfers a great round. It's a 9-hole course open to the public, located right off exit 104 on I-29. The Goose River Golf Club in Hillsboro offers annual memberships for singles and families, also college memberships, first-time memberships, and outside 30-mile radius of Hillsboro membership available as well. Men's Day is Wednesday, Ladies' Day is Tuesday. You can learn more about getting on the Goose River Golf Club, GooseRiverGolfClub.com.
Hometown Community Bank serves both the Hope Page and Maple Valley school districts. If you're interested in an egg loan, real estate, consumer, or commercial loan, Hometown Community Bank can serve you. Give Dwight a call at either branch location in Page or Fingal. Ask Janine about the competitive certificates of deposit or money market rates. Hometown Community Bank is a community bank and proud of the communities they serve, and they wish the best of luck to the Maple River Raiders for many years moving forward with the co-op. Hometown Community Bank is a member of the FDIC.
Carter Bosch 1, everybody else 0. That includes his own teammates is what it kind of feels like right now. Carter Bosch with 4 touchdowns. He's had 5 touches here, 4 carries, 87 yards, 3 scores, a reception for 26 yards and a touchdown. He has 113 yards from the line of scrimmage, and he added that 57-yard kickoff return, Hoots. That's 170 yards of total offense so far here for a guy, again, who didn't play football last season in Carter Bosch.
You know, if you don't get tackled that often, you don't have to answer the question of, but yeah, can he take a hit? I think he's just going to run away from guys. I think that's his strategy right now, and I think he's going to do a nice job of preserving his body by, getting away from guys, not taking too many hits. He's done a really nice job this far.
The cat might be out of the hat, if you will, for our player of the game at this point. Here goes Gruba. Ball at the 20-25, has a lane, 35, spins, 40. Look at Gruba go. Satcham with the tackle, but that's one of the better plays we've seen by the Enderlin Eagles here.
See, I think maybe Calvin Satcham had the right idea, just kicking her out of bounds the first couple times.
Carson Gruba, just a sophomore, but good starting field position at about the 42-yard line with 7:29 left to play here in the second quarter. So far for the Enderlin Eagles, a punt, downs, interception. We'll see if they can get past the 50 for the first time here tonight. Twins to the right-hand side, and the pistol will be the sophomore quarterback in Gruba with Wendell. Get the stretch handoff here past the 45, and Wendell diving and stretching for that midfield line. He's tackled at the 48.
This is an excellent time, early on in the season, get some younger guys some reps here every once in a while, work them in. Silling got a play off there, Dahl got a play off there, just let them catch their breath, get some water, and get back in.
And going back to what we mentioned in the pregame show, again, the mercy rule is 30. So if you're Maple River, you want to be up by 30 or more to let that clock go to start the third quarter and minimize this game. If you're Enderlin, how do you get it under 30 before the half is what they're looking to do. Wendell, stretch play. He gets past the 50, and he's tackled there up high and down low for the double team. But Dylan Zahn is going to be on the tackle with T. Silling. And for the first time tonight, Enderlin will have a play in Maple River territory.
Yeah, when you're down 38-0, you're looking to maximize as many reps as you can, get as many reps on film as possible. When you're up 38-0, I think you kind of want to just drain this thing out as much as possible, minimize the reps on the legs. When you don't have many guys on the sideline, I think Maple River's dressing 15 guys tonight. Probably don't want a ton of reps.
I would agree with you on that one, looking across the way with guys with helmets on. Gruba spins. Oh, what a tackle on the way by Connor Dahl. Spinning out of it was Steven Drogan, but Connor Dahl just gave him a big old bear hug, Hoots, and brought Gruba down to the ground.
Just completely selling out on the quarterback run game and the running back run game inside right now. Dahl doesn't have to do anything except for track the ball and go get the ball.
So 4th and short upcoming here for the Enderlin Eagles past the midway point of this second quarter. Enderlin looking to get a first down. They have one tonight, looking for their second. Shotgun formation, Twins near sideline. Enderlin putting 7 guys in the box. We'll see if they bring some pressure. They do. Looking for it, spinning, and not going to get there. on the run by Gruba. And again, really good tackling here by the Raiders, Hoots, right in the middle of the football field.
Everybody's staying in their lanes, not doing other people's jobs, just sticking to what they're supposed to do in the scheme and doing it really, really well.
As for the Maple River Raiders here, they will start with it at their own 48-yard line with 5:34 left in this half. For Maple River, touchdown, 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 and touchdown here for Maple River. I think that's a bingo in the stat column.
Yeah, and even with the free space, that's good.
And it's going to be 1st and 10 on the way here for the Maple River Raiders.
I'd like to see Steven Drogan get a touch here after making that great play on defense and just being a solid contributor. You'd like to see a senior get a touch here.
We'll see if he will get an opportunity. Looks like Preston Dowes now will dot the I. Carter Bosch goes out to the near side of the formation. Handoff. This will go to the aforementioned Preston. Nice wrap-up tackle by the junior defensive end, Aiden Glarum, but still moving the line of scrimmage forward for 4 yards.
It's something that was, I don't think I was the only one standing on this sideline that was a little nervous about how that was going to go tonight, and it's been nothing but impressive thus far.
And that's one thing on your keys to the game when I asked you outside of turnovers and the mistakes that you might see in an opener. You mentioned the line play of what last season was, and we're seeing that here, maybe not so much in terms of right up the tackles or guards, if you will, Hoots, because they've had a lot of plays to the outside with Bosch.
Yeah, just a nice mix of inside and outside, quarterback run game, running back run game. They've done a nice job of mixing it up.
Handoff, Dahl trying to get a little bit of a lane here, and he's able to get his way for a healthy yard to bring up about 3rd and 5.
If he would have just waited a half a second longer, the pulling guard could have got out in front of him and taken care of that tackler. But I think Dahl runs one way, 100 miles an hour as fast as he can, and runs over anyone in his way, even if it's his own teammate.
Ethan Simbira, the freshman defensive lineman coming out of the game here for Enderlin, was part of that disruption there on just the 1-yard carry for Dahl. As the Maple River Raiders, 3rd down and medium. We haven't really said that too much tonight here for Maple River's offense in this wishbone formation. Silling looks to pass, now will step up, keeps it as he gets the numbers. 1st down 40, and he stiff arms a man out of bounds to the 38-yard line.
Safety for the Eagles did a nice job. They had 2 guys running seams right down the middle of the field. He just stayed deeper in the deepest, which kind of forced Silling to tuck and run, and still got the 1st down. But good job by the Enderlin defense to not give up a big play there.
And you mentioned the secondary, Carson Gruba, Jacob Simbira, Christensen. Kind of caught out of my eye coming open was Jonah Thompson, it felt like, was going to have a chance with the football, Hoots. But like you said, the secondary, particularly Gruba, picked him up pretty quick.
Yeah, one guy can guard 2 if he stays deeper.
1st and 10 here for Maple River. They're not going to be in any hurry as they get the ball to start the second half. Or excuse me, Enderlin gets the ball to start the second half as well. As Connor Dahl makes his way close to the 1st down. It'll be 2nd down upcoming and inches.
So rather than that outside dive that they ran earlier where Dahl kind of ran over the pulling lineman, this time they ran him on a counter, allowed that pulling guard to get out in front, got another 4 or 5 yards.
We have a timeout on the field. We'll break with them. 3:43 left to play in the opening half. 2nd and short coming up for the Raiders here in Hope.
Hope Page Public Schools are committed to the development of all students by providing a high-quality education that is reflective of the strong values in our communities. The staff at Hope Page Public Schools work each day to enable and inspire students to achieve academic excellence and make positive contributions to our world. Learn more about Hope Page Public Schools by visiting hopepage.k12.nd.us. We are Hope Page, and we will change the world.
As we come back here on YourLiveEvent.com in Milner in the 2nd quarter, newly inserted 9-man team, Sargent County 19, Lemoore, Litchfield, Marion Lobos 14 in 9-man football, and in Kindred between the Central Cass Squirrels and the Kindred Vikings. Last we heard out there was Kindred leading in the 1st quarter, and it's currently about 16 seconds left in the 1st half. Kindred 14, Central Cass scoreless for some ranked games here in Class A and 9-man football tonight. Timeout on the field by the Maple River Raiders. They'll have 2 remaining. Enderlin with 2 remaining as well. Chase Miller, Nathan Hoots, Joey Hughes with you. 2nd and 1 as it's starting to become a little bit more of an overcast. We've had a little bit of a swirling wind, but nothing to really write home about here as will be 2nd down. Wishbone formation. Silling goes under center. The junior Q at 6'3" and 190 pounds. Handoff. This one goes to the outside to Preston Dowse, who picks up the first down to the outside into the red zone, and he'll be pushed at a bounce at about the 19-yard line.
Exciting to kind of see the next generation, if you will, of Raider football here, getting younger guys some touches and seeing positive gains.
To your point, 5 different Raiders with a rush here tonight. Caleb Dowse with 5 yards. Preston, the brother, with 14. Silling with 55. Dahl with the most carries at 7 with 40. And Carter Bosch 4 carries for 87 yards. First down and 10 on the way. Ball at the 19-yard line for Maple River. Silling, handoff, Dahl, and a good stick at the line here by the Enderlin Eagles. Unable to see who came across right away. Looks to be like Eric Height down there, Hoots, who really stood up Dahl, as Dahl a little bit slow to come up right now on the football field.
Yeah, it's the first time that someone's got underneath Dahl's pads. The first time he hasn't been the low man, and it was only a couple yards rather than that 5-6 that he's been getting every single time.
Eric, the 6-foot junior here, just kind of wrapped up Dahl right off the bat. The Enderlin Eagles won the coin toss and elected to defer, so in the second half they'll start with the football, but right now we're under 3 minutes to play here in the first half. Wishbone formation again as Silling goes under center. Handoff as this will go to the outside. Dowse has a crease. Preston Dowse will be taken out of bounds, and kind of similar to Carter Bosch, she gets the edge. There's a little bit of speed, and now it's first and goal here for Maple River.
Kid's a good athlete, and I think if he starts to run a little bit lower, you know, he's kind of a long, lanky running back. Not many of the guys that are built like that run the ball a ton, but you know, if he starts running a little bit lower, I think good things can happen. He might be able to get a touch in between the tackles.
Preston, a 5'10" sophomore at 135 pounds, 3 carries for 25 yards. What we're going to say is a lot of rushes for yards so far here for Maple River coming up in our first half stats. Wishbone formation again, first and goal. Ball spotted at the 5 at the far hash. Handoff, this will go to Dahl. Dahl coming back in, and O'Dargo there. Orr makes a nice tackle to keep him out of the end zone. As this would be about 3 yards on the rush on the way coming up here for Dahl. 9 carries now for 46 yards. Yeah, Maple River does not need to be in any rush by any stretch of the imagination, as they can maybe run 1, 2, or even 3 more plays here, depending on what Enderlin does defensively. Wishbone again on the way for Silling. We'll see if they go back to that fullback trap. No, it's the Bush push, and they got it in for the end zone from 1 yard out to Silling. Hits Pater.
I don't think he needed the push. He probably had that. I think the B gap was quite large and vacated there by the Eagle defense, and that was whether it was called or not, that was the right play to make.
As that was always been talked about in football. Can you do that? Well, we see it in college, we see it in NFL. There's been times where you couldn't do that in football, but right now it's like the luge, a bobsled. You just keep pushing someone until they get what they need.
You can push the runner, but you cannot pull the runner.
There you go. So if I'm a lineman, I just can't pull him with me.
Correct, yes.
So a 2-point conversion upcoming here for the Maple River Raiders. They've scored on every drive so far here of the game. As this will be a handoff. Dowse is in for the 2-point conversion. Preston Dowse gets 2 more points on the board. It's Maple River 46, Enderlin scoreless on your liveevent.com.
Farmers, are you expanding, upgrading, or want to automate? Visit with the experienced staff at Hope Electric to learn about the latest electrical systems and the newest technologies that they have developed to make your operation more efficient. Get a custom system in place with features like iPad truck loading and remote view grain storage, touchscreen controls, hazard monitoring systems, and wireless cellular cameras to protect your assets. Hope Electric, serving the agricultural and commercial industry since 1978. Visit hopeelectric.com or call 701-945-2460.
Mother Nature can strike at any time, and Irie Insurance is here to help. Experience the difference with Irie. Get the insurance protection you want with the customer service you deserve.
Home insurance, auto insurance, crop insurance, commercial insurance, benefits insurance.
We have you covered from head to toe, underground to sky. Go to IrieInsurance.com to get a free quote.
Back here on yourliveevent.com. Chase Miller, Joey Hughes behind the scenes. Nathan Hoots on the sideline right there. To drive that goes 3 minutes, 28 seconds, 52 yards, and another touchdown here for the Maple River Raiders. And if you were Maple River looking to maybe open some eyes in Region 1 tonight, Hoots, this has been as much of a well-executed game from what it was a year ago when they were the team losing to an awfully good Lemoore Litchfield Marion team. I'm not saying that Maple River is going to be going to the semifinals like what the Lobos did last year, but in terms of execution, in terms of not beating yourself, that was something that really came to mind from a Coach Delabar Lobos team last year here. We're seeing that by Larry Fontaine's Raiders team here tonight.
Yeah, as fellow Region 1 coaches scroll through Twitter tonight or however they find their scores, they're going to see a lot and they're just going to keep scrolling. This one they're going to stop and go, really? And then that's the film that you probably bring up that night when you're bored and can't sleep.
Calvin Satchram will kick this one off as this will be grabbed there at about the 15-yard line by Wendell. Wendell going right up the middle, 35, stays on his feet, 40, into Maple River territory as Satchram, the kicker, brings him down. And for the first time tonight, Enderlin will start in Maple River field position.
I think at a minimum, the first thing they might work on next Monday might be kickoff coverage. That's the only two major concerns we've had tonight as a Maple River fan on this sideline. It's probably the way that they've covered kicks that have been in bounds.
Enderlin will have 2 timeouts remaining, so a chance to move the ball down the field. You stop the ball again with the clock if you get out of bounds or you get a first down in high school football. A couple weeks from now, we'll be talking about the college game, the Jimmies and the Vikings next week for the good old paint bucket in Valley City. Will be coming up around the corner. 1st and 10, handoff Wendell up the middle. Wendell stretching his way past the 45 to the 43-yard line.
They found a bit of a seam. That left side, I believe, is probably the sign they prefer to run to with both Bartholomew and Glarum over on that side, and they've kind of wore that out and gotten some good yards on it.
And you like what Wendell, the senior, it's been a very bring your lunch pill and try to get some yards. It's 9 carries for 15, Hoots, but at times it's been a pretty hard turning yards here by Wendell.
He's done a nice job of leaning forward. I don't like the way he lunges at the end with the ball stretched out every time, but he's gotten good yards.
2nd and 4, handoff. Wendell again runs into his own man, and that's because there was a good push by the defensive line here by the Maple River Raiders, and that good push on the way looked to be started by Stephen Drogan.
I just want to clarify, I did get an insider source when it comes to pushing and pulling the runner. Any aiding of the runner this year is something that's a point of emphasis for the officials. So you can push the pile, but you cannot push the runner. So
okay, so you got to make it look like it's a dog pile push.
That's exactly right. So you can't just directly push the quarterback on those sneaks. You got to wait for it to be a pile and then try to move the pile.
So no bush push this
Correct.
year in high school football. 3rd down coming up. The Eagles need the 39. Gruba throws it in the flat, incomplete. He was getting pressured there by Silling, makes it 4th down.
Almost impossible to be able to step into that throw when a big number 9's coming right in your grill.
4th down upcoming here. Enderlin's going to go for it as the clock sits at 39 seconds. They will need the Raider 39 if they get it. We'll see if a timeout is called unless they're able to get out of bounds. As we hear the train whistle in the background. 4th down upcoming. Enderlin fans know enough about trains at Henderson Field. 4th and 6. Chance here for Gruba. Steps into the pocket. That's a deep throw down the field at the 20. Incomplete. That was the best pocket, but we do have a flag back at the 49-yard line. We'll see who
we got a holding on Enderlin, I'm assuming. Decline that and take the ball.
And you're right, Larry Fontaine says decline, so a turnover on downs, but that's the best that we've seen Gruba throw the ball. It's a perfect spiral down the field. Great coverage on the way there by Caleb Dowse for the Maple River Raiders, but seeing that spiral come off, that was a good-looking ball by the sophomore.
It certainly was, and that's something that you can at least feel good about how it came out of your hands, and he was able to step into that ball and give it a chance down the field.
3rd time tonight that Enderlin ended a drive on downs here. Their last 4 drives, downs, interception, downs, and downs. For the Maple River Raiders, it looks like they'll just come out, take a QB knee here with Silling, and take the 46-0 lead into the half. That's exactly what Silling is going to do. For the Enderlin Eagles, scoreless in the 1st and the 2nd quarter, while for the Maple River Raiders, 30 points in the 1st, 16 points in the 2nd. They've scored a touchdown on every drive except what will end up being their final possession of the first half, just taking a couple of knees.
Not entirely sure why they have to take another knee here. The ball was snapped under 40, but
as Silling will take one more knee, and that'll do it at the half. The Maple River Raiders, again, with a very impressive opening 2 quarters of football to open up the 2023 season. We're back after this in Hope on your liveevent.com.
Honesty, loyalty, integrity. At Bank North, we've remained true to these values for generations. They shape the way we do business, work with customers, and support our communities. We've been here for more than a century, helping people grow farms and businesses, finance homes, and pursue their dreams. It's values-based banking, and it's all about working together to strengthen the common threads that bind us together. Bank North, always true.
Maple Valley Parents is a nonprofit organization whose main purpose is to promote, encourage, and support the Maple Valley students, teachers, and staff. MVP strives to strengthen and enhance the educational and social environment of the Maple Valley School District by providing opportunities for students, teachers, and parents to learn, socialize, communicate, and grow together. MVP Group welcomes anyone to join them in their mission. If you'd like to get involved or see upcoming events, check out the Maple Valley Parents Facebook page.
The Maple Valley School District is moving forward with the plan to build a new pre-K classroom, community fitness center, and gymnasium with locker rooms. The classroom will provide more space for a growing pre-K program. The fitness center will provide opportunities to benefit all Maple Valley communities, and the gym will allow more opportunities for all activities of the Maple River Co-op. Plus, the plan is to build with no new taxes. Contact the business manager to see how you can help make this a reality today at 701-749-2570.
It was October 1st, 2009. We needed some machinery for the farm. We decided to see if we could become a dealer, and that's kind of grown into what it's been today.
We offer basically anything short line. Seed tenders, fertilizer spreaders, sprayers. We can really set ourselves apart by the knowledge we have in those things, by the amount of units we have on hand at all times.
I just have a passion for helping people, getting to know people. It just becomes a lot of fun.
I'm Darian Bitts. I'm confident on and off the field. And when it's time for college, I'm confident Bank of North Dakota will help me make good student loan decisions. Visit bnd.nd.gov/confident.
I'm Dub Gray. I'm confident during the performance and when it's time for college. I'm confident Bank of North Dakota will help me make good student loan decisions. Visit bnd.nd.gov/confident.
This is Chris from RDK Enterprises, your local precision planting dealer. Now is the time to take note of any issues you may have experienced with your planter while it's fresh in your mind. We can come out, walk the fields with you, and talk over these concerns and put a plan together. For a limited time, save $50 per row when you buy Delta Force from RDK Enterprises. Cash discounts are also available upon qualifying purchase. Take advantage of these discounts and contact us today. RDK Enterprises, 701-636-2119 or planterdoc.com.
As we continue here on our post-game show, Chase Miller, Nathan Hoots, and Joey Hughes with you here from Hope, North Dakota. Before we take a look at the first half numbers, let's bring in Nathan Hoots here for the first half in a contest that started just over an hour ago here on yourliveevent.com. Still warm, still muggy. The lights are turning on for our first Friday Night Lights, but it went from the opening kickoff. Carter Bosch with that 50-plus yard return from the 25 to the Enderlin Eagle, a 19-yard line, and it's been like just out of a cannon, Hoots, a Maple River Raider flurry.
Yeah, it's been impressive. Everybody that's touched the ball has, gained positive yards. Just their rushing attack has been excellent. It's kind of been nice. They haven't had to show a whole lot in the passing game, which might be a wrinkle that they can bring out next week in Hankinson. So, probably not trying to do a whole lot here the second half because of, how excellent they've been in pretty much every phase of the game.
We go into this particular first half a player that has stood out for one or two teams. For the Enderlin Eagles, I think Adargo is someone that you mentioned. I like what Tony Wendell's done. There's been a couple nice line plays here for the Enderlin Eagles. Just the speed right now of Maple River, particularly Bosch, is really starting to show. But Enderlin here, what's the message going into this second half here, Hoots?
Just fight your butts off every single play here in the second half. You're going to show a coach a lot more of how you play in these last 24 minutes than you do maybe even the first 24 minutes. Do you have, some heart, some grit, and you're willing to play till the final buzzer no matter what? There were some plays that I'm sure that the coach wasn't terribly thrilled about. Those 2-point conversions are really hard as a player when you're down by a lot, because it's just like, oh, it's just another 2 points, it's no big deal, and you may not try as hard as you need to, but when you give it your all when you're down by a lot, that proves a lot to a coach.
On the opposite side, if you're Maple River, as you mentioned, for both teams, there's not like a whole second unit dressed where you're going to get your starters off the ball. So how do you kind of slowly bring the other guys in, which they've done a little bit, but keep everyone fresh, because just because you might be coming off the field doesn't mean your night is done if this game continues the way it's going in the second half from a Maple River point of view.
Yeah, Coach Fontaine's done a nice job already of kind of mixing in some other guys, getting some touches. Preston Dow's has got, 3 or 4 carries, and each one of them gone for 3-4 yards or more. That's the way you can do it. You just don't give your best guys all of those touches in the second half. Maybe you run them at a different position just to give the next team that you're playing something different to have to think about, but you're probably not throwing the ball a whole lot here in the second half, and they didn't throw the ball a whole lot in the first half anyway. But, try to keep it basic, run down that play clock, and like I said earlier, you probably don't want a whole lot of plays, not a lot of reps when you only have 5 or 6 subs over here. Try to minimize that with how hot and how warm it is out here. You probably don't want to put, miles on them here in the second half.
As we come back, we'll take a look at the first half numbers here from Hope, North Dakota. Tonight, the Maple River Raiders lead it 46-0 over the Enderlin Eagles. We're back with first half stats when we return on your liveevent.com.
New arrival on the lot at Ziegler Ag Equipment, Highway 9 North Ada, 2014 Versatile DT 550 with power shift, 36-inch track, 1,700 hours. Talk to Chuck O'Neill for more information and the harvest season sale price. Ziegler Ag Equipment also has these new trades: 2 Caterpillar 259 track skid steers, priced right, and the new tillage equipment trades, 30-foot sunflower disc, plus Amity beat equipment parts, and they stock all shovels for your tillage equipment needs. Ziegler Ag Equipment, Highway 9 North Ada.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in North Dakota. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the NDHSAA and the North Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Dakota Heritage Bank, serving you with 10 locations across North Dakota and northwestern Minnesota, has a strong background in ag and business lending, but they can also help with auto, recreational, personal, or home loans, including home equity lines of credit. Dakota Heritage Bank is a family-owned community bank where decisions are made locally. Our friendly staff greets you with a smile, takes the time to get to know you, and can help you with your banking needs. Visit us online, dhbanknd.com. Dakota Heritage Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Hey growers, when working on your water management solutions, call Chad's Excavating out of Mayville. They are your water management contractor, helping you with tile drainage plans, service drainage plans, or both. Remember, water management is a lifetime investment. Call Chad 701-430-0182 to get your water problem solved. For more information, follow Chad's Excavating on Facebook. For tile drainage and service plans, call 701-430-0182. Chad's Excavating out of Mayville, helping farmers grow.
Triple-E Incorporated in Page is cheering on the Raiders as they compete on and off the court and field. They put in the effort to build a team with trust, experience, and the ability to accomplish their goals. The team at Triple-E Incorporated is built the same way, with knowledge and experience, with timeliness and efficiency. For your next non-residential building project, go online to eeeinc.com or stop by the office in Page for more information. Make your next project a winner with the team at Triple-E Incorporated in Page.
As we're back here on YourLiveEvent.com, you can also check out a good 9-man game brewing in Milner. And hey, the scoreboard is on fire in Milner. It's 32-22, Sargent County over the Lemoore Litchfield Marion Lobos. Eric Olson's squad bringing 10 seniors back here this season, going from 11 to 9-man football. Taking a look at the first half numbers here in Hope, North Dakota. Team numbers look like this for the Maple River Raiders. 295 yards of total offense, 26 through the air, 269 on the ground for an average of 11.69 yards per rush. For the Enderlin Eagles, 0 for 4 passing with a pick, and currently 23 carries for -2 yards for the Enderlin Eagles. Individual numbers on the way here for the Maple River Raiders. 4 carries, 87 yards, 3 scores for Carter Bosch. You had T. Silling, 6 carries for a touchdown and 56 yards rushing. 9 carries, 46 yards for Connor Dahl. Preston Dow's 3 carries for 25 yards, and Caleb Dow's, the brother, 1 carry for 5 yards. Through the air, T. Silling, 1 of 1 for a touchdown, 26 yards. That went to Carter Bosch. For the Enderlin Eagles, first half numbers, 12 carries for -7 yards for Gruba. You had 10 carries for 13 yards for Wendell, and Adargo just had to pounce on the football. He did so, 1 carry for -8 yards. And then from there, Gruba 0 for 4 with a pick through the air. Taking a look ahead for the Enderlin Eagles, they will play the Lobos of Lemoore Litchfield Marion next week in Lemoore, home to Hankinson on September the 1st, then home to Hatton Northwood on September the 8th before a bye week on the 15th. For the first half of the season for the Raiders, after tonight at Hankinson, then at Weimar Lidgewood on September the 1st, then home in a non-region contest to the Polar Bears of Larimore on September the 8th. That's a look at our first half numbers and a look a little bit at your out-of-town scoreboard at the one half of play. Lisbon over Northern Cass. Hillsboro led late 19-0 over Mayport CG. And also Central Cass losing to Kindred at the half, 14-0 Vikings after one half of play. Again, Sargent County 32, Lemoore Litchfield Marion 22 in the second quarter. We're back after this with second half action from Hope. It's 9-man football on YourLiveEvent.com.
At Enbridge, we believe sustainability is the foundation of our success. How well we perform as a steward of our environment, a safe operator of essential energy infrastructure, a good neighbor, and a diverse employer defines our success. Learn more about Enbridge's environmental, social, and governance commitments and our Indigenous Reconciliation Plan at enbridge.com.
Located on the beautiful Goose River in Hillsboro, the Goose River Golf Club offers both recreational and experienced golfers a great round. It's a 9-hole course open to the public, located right off exit 104 on I-29. The Goose River Golf Club in Hillsboro offers annual memberships for singles and families, also college memberships, first-time memberships, and outside 30-mile radius of Hillsboro membership available as well. Men's Day is Wednesday, Ladies' Day is Tuesday. You can learn more about getting on the Goose River Golf Club, GooseRiverGolfClub.com.
Hometown Community Bank serves both the Hope Page and Maple Valley school districts. If you're interested in an egg loan, real estate, consumer, or commercial loan, Hometown Community Bank can serve you. Give Dwight a call at either branch location in Page or Fingal. Ask Janine about the competitive certificates of deposit or money market rates. Hometown Community Bank is a community bank and proud of the communities they serve, and they wish the best of luck to the Maple River Raiders for many years moving forward with the co-op. Hometown Community Bank is a member of the FDIC.
Some scores across the way. Hatton Northwood over Griggs Dakota at the half in 9-man football, 14-0. Hillsboro Central Valley, as we mentioned, leads 19-0 over Mayport CG as well. That's in Class A football here tonight. The defending Class A football champs, the Velva Drake Animus Sawyer Aggies, looking pretty good early. Velva 36, Hazen scoreless. And in AAA/AA football, Williston 12, the Rough Riders of Red River at 8. So far, Nathan Hoots with some of the scores that we're hearing. Anything surprise you in the first half of football here on this Friday night? that we have.
Just keep that Sargent County Lemoore game updated as much as possible. It is interesting that as well with the Kindred and Central Cass game. You know, as Brad Anderson says, it doesn't matter what sport you're playing in, it's going to be a great game no matter what when those two face off, so that's always exciting.
As you mentioned, you can have a couple of screens. You can watch 5 games tonight on yourliveevent.com. Why not put this game on? Put the Lobos and Sargent County on your iPad. Man Cave Hoots. This is what the Man Cave time is all about on Friday and Saturdays. And I suppose if you're a Viking, Packer, Bears, Lions, or something else fan on Sunday football.
I'd be lying if I said I hadn't had more than one Your Live Event screen up watching at my house. So my wife is not all about that exactly in the middle of the winter when we have a night off and I got multiple screens on games.
On a separate note, any early thoughts as a coach on what 3 classes will do in basketball this upcoming season in North Dakota Hoots?
It adds a giant level of excitement for teams that are, you know, both partaking in the game here, football tonight. You know, a lot of the young teams, smaller teams, it gives them an opportunity when they take the floor for the first day, November 13th. They feel like they have a chance. You don't have to have the team of the century anymore in this small town school to, you know, have an opportunity to make it to the state tournament.
As we get ready for the second half of play here on yourliveevent.com, Maple River will put this one on the tee for the Enderlin Eagles. Returning back for them is Wendell, and alongside with Carson Gruba as they've been in the backfield, and now they're going to be in the backfield yet again. Still to come on our post-game show, we'll get to our RDK Enterprises feature precision play of the game, Enbridge Energy player of the game, and thanks to Irie Insurance again for being our pregame sponsor here in Maple River. Here's a little pooch kick that'll go to about the 34-yard line, picked up there by Simbura. Look at him run. Simbura at the 50-yard line, and that's a nice little 16-yard return here for the Enderlin Eagles.
Good start. A lot of positive things are happening on these kick returns for the Eagles.
I would agree with what you're saying. If there's one thing that Coach Fontaine probably doesn't like, it's been kickoff return, just kicking off here, Hoots.
I tell you what, just got to peek in at practice yesterday. It is tough to simulate kickoff when you only have 15 bodies.
Very true. Enderlin, we'll see what they can do. Again, it's going to be running clock unless the Eagles get it under 30, and we'll have a false start on the way by the aforementioned kickoff returner with Simbura. That'll be the first hanky of the night. That's something that we didn't talk about at the half, Hoots. You just had 1 penalty for 5 yards for Maple River that was accounted for, and just 1 penalty now for 5 yards for Enderlin so far here tonight.
A lot of declined ones early in the game, but overall very clear. I think it's been pretty simple snap counts here early on with 2 young offensive lines trying to make sure that we don't go backwards.
Enderlin will come out 1 wide receiver either side. This will be a stretch handoff. Wendell cuts back in, fumbles the football. It's free, and it's going to be picked up by guess who? Carter Bosch at the 48-yard line, it looks like here. It will be Maple River football here for the Raiders as Wendell, he might have got popped and he's on the ground. We'll break with him here as they attend to Wendell on yourliveevent.com.
Hope Page Public Schools are committed to the development of all students by providing a high-quality education that is reflective of the strong values in our communities. The staff at Hope Page Public Schools work each day to enable and inspire students to achieve academic excellence and make positive contributions to our world. Learn more about Hope Page Public Schools by visiting hopepage.k12.nd.us. We are Hope Page, and we will change the world.
Farmers, are you expanding, upgrading, or want to automate? Visit with the experienced staff at Hope Electric to learn about the latest electrical systems and the newest technologies that they have developed to make your operation more efficient. Get a custom system in place with features like iPad truck loading and remote view grain storage, touchscreen controls, hazard monitoring systems, and wireless cellular cameras to protect your assets. Hope Electric, serving the agricultural and commercial industry since 1978. Visit hopeelectric.com or call 701-945-2460.
Mother Nature can strike at any time, and Irie Insurance is here to help. Experience the difference with Irie. Get the insurance protection you want with the customer service you deserve.
Home insurance, auto insurance, crop insurance, commercial insurance, benefits insurance.
We have you covered from head to toe, underground to sky. Go to IrieInsurance.com to get a free quote.
Well, good news, bad news if you're Enderlin. The good news coming off the field is Anthony Wendell. The bad news, he's not really putting a lot of pressure on that foot. And anytime it's game number 1 with a senior as well, Hoots, that's always something you don't want to see, particularly kind of the heartbeat, if you will, of this Enderlin Eagle football team in Anthony Wendell. You hope short term, probably won't see him the rest of the night in this game, but hopefully he can be back next week against the Lobos.
Right, yeah. With how many touches he's gotten here in this first, 2+ quarters, it'd be really difficult to see how they regroup and find somebody to take that position there.
Wishbone formation coming up. A new QB into the game here for Maple River. That's Caleb Dowse. Hands it off to his brother. Look at that connection. We saw Wyatt to T last year. Now it's Caleb to Preston this year, but this will be a handoff for about a yard.
Hey, that's exciting to get some guy in there just in case. Give him a couple of reps here and there and see how he can handle it.
And I think you just hit it right on the head. Taking a look again at what we're describing here with these particular players. You look across the sideline, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys who are fully suited up for Maple River. So giving some players, even if it is a senior in Caleb Dowse, you just never know. Give them some quality reps here in this context.
That's exactly right. Young guys had an opportunity to step up and flash on film. You only need one play to get your coach to get an eye on you, and maybe you get an opportunity in practice the next week.
Now being the fullback will be Preston Dowse. This one will go a handoff to Connor Dahl, who muscles his way past the 45 to the 44. And Adargo, the sophomore, really covering some ground in a good way for Enderlin.
Yep. Once again, impressive athlete. He moves well. He's filled out. He was about that same height when he was an 8th grader when he came up and played, with practice with us at the end of the year or last year in a co-op, and is an impressive young kid, and I think he's got a bright future.
10 carries for 64 yards so far for Connor Dahl. 2.5 minutes into this second half of play. As we get to the post-game show, final numbers, out-of-town scoreboard update for you in Sargent County. Sargent County at the half, 39. The Lobos 22 at the half in Milner. Wishbone rolling out left-hand side is going to be the aforementioned Caleb Dowse as he spins his way to the 41-yard line before he was wrestled down by Bartholomew.
Be interesting to see if the young backs that were in the game there, if they went the wrong way. That's the first time they've kind of had a misdirection sweep where they had 2 of the backs go in the opposite direction of where the play actually went.
As Larry Fontaine comes nearly all the way out to the hash marks here to tell Caleb and alongside Preston, let's run this coming play. We'll see what Caleb does.
Definitely getting his steps in, going all the way to the hash mark.
I was just thinking the same thing. Fullback trap here for Connor Dahl. He gets past the first down and a yard to the 37-yard line. 4 yards on the rush.
Sure, you'd like to probably limit the amount of times that Dahl's got to be helped up by 2 guys to get off the field here in the second half, but he keeps the chains moving and he keeps the clock running, which is exactly what you want in a game like this.
And you're going into that first half of play, again, we'll get to the possessions in the first half because there were a plenty for both teams, but this second half, you want it to be minimized, especially if you're from a Maple River point of view. Well, there's a misread there by the quarterback as it's going to be pitched now to Preston. Caleb went right. Everybody else went left to what you're saying a little bit earlier, so it'll be a 1-yard gain.
Yeah, exactly. But, a couple young guys out here made a decent block. It's something we can work on. Thankfully, Trent Warren's a better blocker than he is chooser of his undershirt with his green undershirt, but we can work on that.
7 possessions in the first half for Maple River, the same for Enderlin. Maple River scored on all of them until they took it at the half. So it'll be wishbone formation again for the Maple River Raiders. This will be a pitch playing right through the hands of Preston Dowse. This goes all the way back to the 47-yard line, and here comes a swarming Enderlin Eagles team and wrapping them up as Eli Christensen for the biggest tackle for last night for the Eagles defense.
And got to work on our, the quarterback center exchange is extremely important, but just as important is that toss. And, maybe he didn't get as many reps in practice just with T getting a ton of reps, but it's something that they can work on.
So 3rd down and nearly a quarter mile upcoming here for the Maple River Raiders. Tell you what, I never wanted to run the mile ever. Those beep tests and mile, I would never want to run either. And the beep test wasn't any better at particular times, Hoots.
Yeah, it's about the distance that you need to go to get that first down here.
Third down coming up. Pitch play goes to Connor Dahl. He'll cut it back in. Glarum trying to rip the football away from him, and it will still work. It's a 1-yard loss, and for the first time tonight, the Raiders might have to punt the football away.
And some energy over on the Eagles sideline, which is nice to see no matter what the score is. If you get the guys up and fist pumping and clapping and yelling, that's good for your program.
And good for the program, but also just good there in terms of swarming, right? Pitch play that goes back, but again, Enderlin doesn't quit on the play. A good wrap-up on the way by Christensen, and the same thing there. We've said Glarum and Bartholomew's number a couple times here at the line. They're proving a little bit of havoc here now in the second half on this Raider offense.
Are. You certainly want to see a lot of bodies around the ball when the ball gets on the ground, and Enderlin did a nice job there.
Connor Dahl will snap as Calvin Statrum looks to boot this one away at the 40-yard line. This is a nice end-over-end kick, and Gruba will go down to a knee at about the 22-yard line, so a net of 28 yards in the first punt of the season for Maple River. Will pin back the Enderlin Eagles at their own 22.
Never want to have to punt in a game, but it is nice to get those nerves out in a game that you probably have in hand. So got that first long snap and that first punt and the first punt protection and coverage, and everything went quite well there for the Raiders.
5:53 left to play in the third quarter. The Enderlin Eagles and Maple River Raiders, part of that Enderlin Maple Valley Co-op. Well, for the Maple River Raiders, also Finley Sharon Hope Page on the Hope Page side for many a year. Handoff. This will be bounced out to the outside. This is Christensen getting to the boundary as he's able to make about a 1-yard play.
Eli Christensen's kind of a different brand of running back from the previous guy that was out there. He's more of a east-west guy, and then finds the seam and tries to cut it up, and he got one right at the end and was able to put his foot in the ground and go from a 3-yard loss to a 1-yard gain.
You mentioned about Christensen. Again, any updates on Anthony Wendell, we will give you here on yourliveevent.com. The senior running back here for the Enderlin Eagles on the last possession left the game, didn't put too much pressure on that left foot. Here goes Christensen again, looks to get to the boundary, and instead he's going to get tailed. A 1-2 combination. Connor Dahl with Preston Dowes, and Christensen takes a lick for a loss.
If you're looking for an update, you probably can't see it from where you're at, but it looks like we have shoulder pads off, cleat off, and looking at that knee once again.
So you hope short term again, nothing major for this season, particularly on a senior year, but we'll have to see how Mr. Anthony Wendell is able to come back here this year for the Enderlin Eagles.
Exactly right.
Third down upcoming and 13 for Enderlin. They will need their own 33-yard line to move the sticks. This will be a shotgun formation here for Gruba. Lane opens up in the middle, gets to the 20-yard line, then taken down by Dahl at about the 21-yard line, so 2 yards on the rush. And now will be a punting situation, and as you just mentioned, Hoots, about Wendell, there is a bag of ice coming across the way here, so that will be the end of the night once you see the ice bag out for a particular player.
Yeah, you can only hope for the best, and like you said, short-term rather than long-term, especially when it happens in August.
Enderlin will have to punt this football away. Aiden Glarum, well, for Maple River. For a second, I was going to say they don't have anybody back, but now Carter Bosch will go back here. Glarum stands back at his own nearly 10-yard line. Clean snap. Here's the boot. That was a good thud. Carter Bosch right in front of us at the 47-yard line to the 50. Near sideline, Carter Bosch 40 to the 35. He slithers his way to the 32-yard line. Carter Bosch with a 20-yard punt return. 1st and 10 Raiders in Eagle territory.
Unbelievably impressive how he fields the punt. It takes kids years to figure out how to catch balls on the run, over their shoulder, and he's done probably the 2 most difficult things to do as a punt return. Catching it on the run, knowing that if you muff that at all, it's probably going to go squirting 10 yards forward right into an Eagle hand. And, he's got unbelievable eye-hand coordination.
Larry Fontaine talking with Carter Bosch across the way, has to like what he's seen. I remember talking to Larry this summer, and he said, we went to camp, and we saw Carter Bosch get tackled for the first time, and he goes, yeah, he's a football player. He'll be all right. Wishbone formation here for Maple River. Speaking of a football player, there's Dahl, but he is smothered right up the middle. Eric Hyatt, the junior, looking good on that play, able to wrap up Dahl for maybe a gain of a half yard if you're generous.
Good first inside pressure they've probably had all game right there. Every time they've run that quick trap, it's been 3-4 yards before anybody even touches them. So it's a good positive start there for the Eagles on this possession.
2nd down and 10 for the Maple River Raiders, and this goes right back to what happened last year for Maple River. When they won, it was an average of 42-9 winning last season for the Maple River Raiders in their 6 wins, and it looks like that's going to hold again here this season. Pitch play goes to the outside. That's Preston. Dowse gets to the number at the 30-yard line and then getting pushed and keeping people with him, particularly Christensen, from taking him down as he's nearly at the line to gain.
A good fight over here, both sides. Guys fighting off blocks. Christensen, Warren going at it out here. Like to see that, even though the score is a little lopsided.
3rd down and short. I need about the 24-yard line here for the Maple River Raiders. Starting to see some guys, as we mentioned, get thrown in. Jonah Thompson is one of them. Connor Dahl with a yeoman's effort so far. Trent Warren, a freshman at 5'6", getting an opportunity here for the Raiders in the backfield as well. Snapper for the center is Calvin Santrum, as they'll go under center. Hard count. Looking left-hand side. That'll be Caleb Dowse. And Hoots, you got the best view down there. Going to be close to the first down.
I think we're just short.
Might be just short here for a 4th. And we'll see what they give them.
I think he's got it.
Everyone talking
Chain
about
Gang thinks they got it. We'll see what they think as I almost wipe out on a yard marker.
And they'll give them the first down.
Keep the clock moving. Good job.
So a couple yards on the rush will make it 1st and 10. As for the Maple River Raiders, they don't get in the end zone. You're probably looking at 2 plays if you can wind that clock down before you get to the 4th quarter. Under center, Caleb Dowse, the senior, pitches it out to Connor Dahl. Dahl gonna get to about the 16-yard line. As that'll, to the 20-yard line for a gain of about 3.
I think the Eagle linebackers and D-backs have learned their lesson after that first half where they tried to tackle them up around the shoulder pads. Now they're taking them out waist and below and having a lot better, success rate.
As the Raiders will come out here for the potential final play of the 3rd quarter. Tackle low and hang on, right, Hoots?
That's exactly right. Sometimes I tell them you just got to take a charge. If you take the guy down, doesn't matter.
2nd and 7 here. Dowse under center. Caleb. Pitch play. This will go to Preston. Preston to the outside. Gets the numbers here. Christensen looking to throw him out of bounds and does at the 19-yard line for a gain of 1. It carries for 22 yards, and that'll do it for the 3rd quarter. Play and hope. Both teams scoreless in the 3rd quarter. Pitching a shutout. We go to the final 12 minutes in Hope, North Dakota, and we come back after this. It's 9-man football on your liveevent.com.
Honesty, loyalty, integrity. At Bank North, we've remained true to these values for generations. They shape the way we do business, work with customers, and support our communities. We've been here for more than a century, helping people grow farms and businesses, finance homes, and pursue their dreams. It's values-based banking, and it's all about working together to strengthen the common threads that bind us together. Bank North, always true.
Maple Valley Parents is a nonprofit organization whose main purpose is to promote, encourage, and support the Maple Valley students, teachers, and staff. MVP strives to strengthen and enhance the educational and social environment of the Maple Valley School District by providing opportunities for students, teachers, and parents to learn, socialize, communicate, and grow together. MVP Group welcomes anyone to join them in their mission. If you'd like to get involved or see upcoming events, check out the Maple Valley Parents Facebook page.
Out-of-town scoreboard on yourliveevent.com to start the 4th quarter. Kindred 14, Central Cass scoreless in Kindred. In Milner between Lemoore Litchfield Marion and the Sargent County Bulldogs. 3rd quarter play, Bulldogs 39, Lobos 22. So Sargent County right now up by 17 on Lemoore Litchfield Marion. We'll keep some other scores coming across the way as well here on yourliveevent.com. 46-0 here in Hope. I'm Chase Miller alongside Nathan Hoots and Joey Hughes behind the scenes. Still to come, our Enbridge Energy Player of the Game, and we'll get to our RDK Enterprises feature precision play of the game, which might be the only pass that Maple River has officially thrown outside a 2-point conversion. Hoots, that was lovely, Celine to Bosch.
Yeah, haven't had to really break out the passing attack thus far, which is probably good going forward in the season, not show too much yet.
Wishbone under center again is going to be Caleb Dowse. Hand off to Connor Dahl, looking for a little bit of a crease here. Dahl somehow keeps the pile moving and gets his way for a hard-earned yard to the 18-yard line. 15 carries for 71 yards. The leading rusher for Maple River, Carter Bosch, 4 carries for 87 yards and 3 scores.
I think we have our Maple River Raider Thunder and Lightning, if you will,
connection
with both Bosch and Dahl.
I'm just thinking about what could have been last season with Carter Bosch and Clay Hovelson in the backfield hoops.
I hear you. The second that I found out, when I saw his name signed up in the hallway that he was going to be going to team camp, I was just like, I was baffled. I was so excited for him, and I'm really glad it's worked out this far.
Wishbone formation again, and this is going to be on the turf. It'll be a turnover on downs regardless of a fumble or not. A 2-yard loss on the play there for Preston Downs, and for the first time tonight, the Maple River Raiders are stoned in terms of unable to make it anything after a punt in the third quarter. Now a turnover on downs here in the fourth.
That's all right. Getting a lot of reps with these younger guys, a lot of carries for guys that probably didn't expect to touch the ball a whole lot tonight, but that's great for them.
Possession number 10 here for the Enderlin Eagles as they will come out, as they'll have a couple of new guys coming into the contest here. Maverick Sandvik, a junior at 5'8", will be into the game on the outside. He will also be a play with Jacob Simbura here on the boundary. Enderlin with Gruba. Takes a step, has some time, throws it, and there's going to be a completion for the Enderlin Eagles, and one of their better offensive plays of the night. That'll go for 14 yards and move the chains to the outside. With the reception is Jacob Simbura, and Gruba is going to be down back at the 25-yard line. We'll take a break with them here for the injury timeout. We're back after this on YourLiveEvent.com.
The Maple Valley School District is moving forward with the plan to build a new pre-K classroom, community fitness center, and gymnasium with locker rooms. The classroom will provide more space for a growing pre-K program. The fitness center will provide opportunities to benefit all Maple Valley communities, and the gym will allow more opportunities for all activities of the Maple River Co-op. Plus, the plan is to build with no new taxes. Contact the business manager to see how you can help make this a reality today at 701-749-2570.
It was October 1st, 2009. We needed some machinery for the farm. We decided to see if we could become a dealer, and that's kind of grown into what it's been today.
We offer basically anything short line. Seed tenders, fertilizer spreaders, sprayers. We can really set ourselves apart by the knowledge we have in those things, by the amount of units we have on hand at all times.
I just have a passion for helping people, getting to know people. It just becomes a lot of fun.
Coming off the field under his own guidance there is Carson Gruba. From what we can tell with the Heat, game number 1 just kind of looks like maybe your leg cramped up a little bit. So what is it, Hoots? The old pickle juice, or is it still Powerade? What do you do down there for your players?
I won't come within 30 feet of a jar of pickle juice, so it's definitely Powerade for me. I mean, plenty of water is what you're looking for. It's tough when, it's the first game of the year. You think you're hydrated, but you're not nearly hydrated enough to play. And, the heat and humidity we had at the beginning of this game.
Really nice looking ball though there for Carson Gruba. Just ran a 10-yard hitch there to Simbura, able to throw it right on the money. We mentioned when he has time to throw, it's a good looking ball there for Carson, so we'll see what's able to do. But coming in at backup quarterback now is a senior in Eli Christensen. Christensen, clean snap, looking to get to the edge here at the 30, cuts back in, has a little bit of a seam. Oh, somehow splits defenders. 40, Christensen, could he go? 50, into Maple River territory, 40, and what a run by Christensen. A backyard-style football run for 26 yards.
That was quite the cutback he had right there, but just kind of ran out a little bit out of gas. Great hustle there by Dylan Zahn, running him down and saving the only points of the day.
3 carries for 29 yards now by Christensen, and I don't know how he got through 2 guys back at the 40-yard line. It looked like it was going to be a peanut butter jelly sandwich that he was going to be smashed into, and all of a sudden he just zoomed out of it, Nathan.
Yeah, it was impressive. All 9 guys on the field knew exactly what was coming. They weren't going to be throwing the ball there, but cutbacks at 9-man are delightful.
Carson Gruba is back into the game. That's good. Christensen in the backfield. Gruba has some time, looks, going down the field, looks for Simbura, incomplete at the 21. And in on the defensive coverage, we can hear, way to go, Charlie. So that must mean Charlie Muse is playing some cornerback.
Yeah, and he kind of got beat on that double move. I think it was nice that they didn't throw the flag on him for the defensive pass interference. But either way, I would have liked to see quarterback step into that throw and hit him because he had a chance. He had him open.
All I know is I want to see Christensen at quarterback on just run the ball one more time. I want to see that before we're done here tonight. 2nd and 10, Gruba in the pistol formation. Clean snap this time, pressure coming. Gruba steps up, throws it down the field, incomplete at the 10-yard line, as that'll be on the outside, and it looked like the intended receiver was Jacob Simbira.
Definitely let him play, and both times the Raider corners have made good plays, locked him up and did a nice job, forced a great throw, and it wasn't quite there.
We'd like to introduce Kevin Kochman to the broadcast. Have you ever watched Boy Meets World before, Nathan? 1990 sitcom on ABC.
Sorry, that's a little before me. I apologize.
It's okay. 3rd and 10, we'll talk about Topanga and Corey Matthews in a moment. Here it goes to the outside 35. Here comes a flag, however, but look at Gruba go to the 10-5, but it could be coming back. It looks like holding back at the 40-yard line.
It's unfortunate to see the one big play they've had tonight come back, but there's still things you can look at. I'm sure a couple of guys must have had really good blocks in order to find that crease.
As we'll come back here, and they'll have to mark it off from where the hold was as they talk with Larry Fontaine on the outside. As we've seen the boundaries open a little bit here for the Enderlin Eagles, that will be a hold, and that'll be their 2nd penalty of the game at 15 yards, but it's costly because it takes 6 points off the board, Hoots.
Yeah, and you'd like to walk away in these last 8 minutes getting the ball in the end zone one time so you can at least start your film session on Monday with something a little positive.
Mark it off back at the 39-yard line, and something different for some fans that are maybe new to North Dakota 9-man football. It's played on a regulation 11-man field. You go watch 9-man football in Minnesota, they shrink it down a little bit, Hoots.
Yeah, when they ever show you watch the state championship game and they play it in U.S. Bank, they got the taped off
at the
sidelines. Yeah, and it's significantly wider playing here than it is in Minnesota.
When you talk with coaches in North Dakota, if you miss, it's like a dog running for the sunset. You're not going to see him for a while.
That's exactly right. Defensive coordinator in 9-man football is the worst job in America.
3rd down and 20. Gruba gets the edge. He's done it once. Can he do it again? 15 yards, and he gets tumbled. What a hit by Preston Dowes, but what a better run by Carson Gruba for 15.
Yeah, great. He's doing a great job of finding that sideline. I think they might have found something here. Good job there by the Raiders tackling below the knees, make him make a play.
14 rushes now for Carson Gruba for 10 yards. 4th down upcoming. Clock continues to wind here as we reach the 7-minute mark on YourLiveEvent.com. Make sure you stay tuned to our post-game show where we'll get to our player of the game, also the final numbers of this one, and we'll keep you apprised of what's going on with 2 top 5 matchups on the eastern side of the state tonight, all on YourLiveEvent.com. Shotgun formation, Gruba with Christensen to his right. They need the Raider 30-yard line. Gruba looking for a seam, gets to the edge. Can he beat his man? It looks like it's going to be close to the 29 for 6 yards. The Enderlin Eagles a season ago averaged 11 points per game. They lost last season 48-6, and it's nearly identical if they could put this one in the red zone and then eventually in the end zone here for Enderlin tonight.
A nice positive drive, something they can build on here. That right side of the line is doing an excellent job here on this possession.
And that right side of the line here for Enderlin is Aiden Glarum and Ethan Simbura. On the right-hand side is Bartholomew. Glarum and Bartholomew there as this will be ball at the 30. Handoff left-hand side, Christensen. Christensen gets wrapped up for a tackle for a loss. Coming in unevaded is Owen Ticky, the freshman.
Owen's done a real nice job tonight. Him starting on the offensive line and then getting some reps here in the second half on the defensive line. He's been very impressive for his first career start.
2nd and 12 upcoming here for Enderlin, and as we mentioned, for the Eagles under first-year head coach Bo Deagle, Larry Fontaine, he's just been around for a while. I remember he told me earlier in the week we were talking about movies, and he goes, that was when it was my senior prom. I just won't date him, Hoots. Well, we were talking about Boy Meets World. I'll just tell you, it was
before that.
Before that, yeah, before the 90s. Here's 2nd down and 12. in the pistol. Rolling right-hand side is Gruba getting pressure, chucks it, has a man. Oh, what a catch at the 20-yard line. Coming in on that one was Aiden Glarum with the tiptoe on the sideline.
Big man with some hands over there. That's impressive to see. He runs a nice route, gets rewarded.
Glarum, the tight end, coming across, the 6'2", tight end, a senior, comes on a big crosser, 3rd down and short. The Eagles looking for the first and to get deeper in the red zone. 3rd and short, under 5 minutes to play. Low snap, Gruba, right-hand side. All coming in again is going to be Mr. Ticky here, and it's going to be just enough maybe for the first, or going to be close to 4th down there, Hoots.
We're just short.
Just short. So they went on a quick hard count, trying to see if they can get there. A little sugar no huddle, and Gruba gets maybe about a half a yard. And now we'll have a officials timeout for the first time tonight. I believe we'll get the chain gang to potentially coming out.
Oh, you know, we didn't get a chance to talk because they went no huddle after the 2nd down play, but I really liked how they moved the pocket on that 2nd down play to get Gruba out on the move, and then he made a good, nice, solid throw, and you can get away with a little bit of a wobble when you got a guy that wide open.
And without the chain gang, they're going to say give them the first down here for Enderlin. So the Eagles trying to get on the board for the first time here this season, about 19 3/4 yards away. Wide receivers at 1st and 2nd. Gruba with the rock. Goes down the middle, has a Dargo into the end zone. Touchdown, Eagles. At the 4-minute mark, the Eagles strike for the first time this year. Gruba to Dargo for 19 yards.
You like to see that if you're an Eagles fan. You got sophomore to sophomore there, and a little connection that you can build upon here in the future.
And in the second half here for Gruba, he's 3 of 5 with completions of 14, 11, and now 19 yards, Nathan. Again, you give the man some time, he'll find someone with that nice-looking ball.
He can really spin it if he has time, and he's a little bit shorter, so he's got to be able to have some time and see over guys. But if he's open, or if he's got a pocket, he's going to find guys that are open.
2-point conversion upcoming here for Gruba. Gruba looking for the QB keeper, trying to push the pile forward, stretches, and he's going to be short. But we have a new score with 3:20 left to play in the contest. It's Maple River 46, the Enderlin Eagles 6. We're back after this on YourLiveEvent.com.
I'm Darian Bitts. I'm confident on and off the field. And when it's time for college, I'm confident Bank of North Dakota will help me make good student loan decisions. Visit bnd.nd.gov/confident.
I'm Doug Gray. I'm confident during the performance and when it's time for college. I'm confident Bank of North Dakota will help me make good student loan decisions. Visit bnd.nd.gov/confident.
This is Chris from RDK Enterprises, your local precision planting dealer. Now is the time to take note of any issues you may have experienced with your planter while it's fresh in your mind. We can come out, walk the fields with you, and talk over these concerns and put a plan together. For a limited time, save $50 per row when you buy Delta Force from RDK Enterprises. Cash discounts are also available upon qualifying purchase. Take advantage of these discounts and contact us today. RDK Enterprises, 701-636-2119 or planterdoc.com.
On YourLiveEvent.com for Gruba, 19-yard touchdown connection to Dargo in the second half. 3 of 5 for 44 yards passing, and a couple of really nice plays by Gruba, particularly on that drive, Mr. Hoots.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like I said, give him a little bit of a pocket. He can really spin it. And I think, the ability to get him out on the edge and move the pocket a little bit with your linemen and try to create some, flood passing routes to give him some options to throw to, I think he could really succeed.
6 minutes, 45 seconds on the clock on an 80-yard scoring drive for the Eagles. Here comes the kick, going to be to the near sideline, and this will go right out of play. What you love about the press box here in Enderlin, we are literally right on top of the field. I mean, if I bring my deck of cards where it goes as far out to you can at about the 47, I'm not sure there's that much room if a punt or a kick comes over our way, Hoots.
I was going to say, don't lean too far out there. You might fall.
For the Enderlin Eagles, they're on the board for the first time here tonight. There goes the shutout, and we'll have a timeout on the way here for the Enderlin Eagles. This will allow us to take a quick timeout as well here on your live event.
New arrival on the lot at Ziegler Ag Equipment, Highway 9, North Ada, 2014 Versatile DT550 with power shift, 36-inch track, 1,700 hours. Talk to Chuck O'Neill for more information and the harvest season sale price. Ziegler Ag Equipment also has these new trades: 2 Caterpillar 259 track skid steers, priced right, and the new tillage equipment trades, 30-foot sunflower disc, plus Amity beat equipment parts, and they stock all shovels for your tillage equipment needs. Ziegler Ag Equipment, Highway 9 North Ada.
One next week.
Back on yourliveevent.com, the Sargent County Bulldogs lead the Lemoore-Litchfield Marion Lobos in the third quarter, 46-28 from Milner. You can catch that game on yourliveevent.com. That's a large one in 9-man football because you win it, you feel like you can control your destiny a little bit moving forward, while also in Class A football in a game that feels the same way. It's a Schlabbernacker and Kindred. Still 14-0 Vikings with 4 minutes left to play in the fourth quarter. Anything surprising you between those state-ranked games, Nathan Hoots?
I'd like to say yes, but, I just, Sargent County, you have so much success in 11-man football, it's going to translate to 9-man. Sometimes you can say maybe 9-man doesn't translate to 11, but it certainly is going to. They're going to have a spectacular year.
And this will be on the field, and getting wrapped up and bear hugged there at Dargo right off the bat on Caleb Dowse for a 1-yard loss. And to your point, taking a look at both teams' schedules moving forward, Enderlin will play home to Sargent County on the 29th of September, while Maple River ends the season in Sargent County on yourliveevent.com on October the 13th.
You certainly don't want to have to be a winning in against them at the end of the year. You don't want to look, obviously, you got a lot of games between here and then.
If you can take care of business tomorrow, next game, and at Weimar-Lidgewood Hoots for Maple River, that'll really be, I think, a good stepping stone.
It certainly would. Next couple weeks are going to be really important for them.
2nd and 11 here, wishbone formation again for Dowse as he rolls to the right-hand side and trying to pick up a block by Connor Dahl, but coming in as a Dargo yet again. And my notes for next year will be look for where is Orion, because he is going to come in and hit you hard.
Yeah, I could see him being the middle linebacker for the next 3 years. The way that he moves east and west and then puts his foot in the ground and goes down and attacks guys, he's going to be a tackling machine.
3rd and long here for the Maple River Raiders, as they will need to try to get a first down and not give Enderlin the football back. Then they can just milk out the clock now as we're at the 2-minute mark and counting. Well, if you're Enderlin, you're going, all right, 2 more plays here. Maybe give the ball and allow Carson Gruber to throw the pigskin 1 or 2 more times. 3rd and 12 upcoming. Hard count. This will go to Connor Dahl. Oh, what a big hit coming across the way. Connor Dahl delivered the lumber a little bit on that one. As for the Enderlin Eagles, coming up is Blake Rusfold, the freshman at 5'8".
Yeah, if you're a younger guy for Enderlin right now, maybe getting your first couple reps of the game, that's the last player on the field I want to see coming right downhill towards me.
Connor Dahl like a freight train going without any brakes is what that kind of run was right there. 4th and 5 for Maple River. If they get the first down, they can bleed out the clock for the remainder of the game. Take a knee, finish it. If it's a turnover on downs, Enderlin will get the ball back one more time at least here tonight. Wishbone formation again for Maple River. And Connor Dahl looks to get past the 45 to about the 45.5-yard line for the first down, and that'll do it here this evening. Connor Dahl puts the exclamation point on the running game. 17 carries for 83 yards for the senior, and a really nice performance all around for Connor Dahl here tonight, Mr. Hoots.
Yeah, he's been kind of all over the place on defense, being able to kind of sell out on Enderlin's run as a linebacker and then getting the tough yards whenever they needed it early on and late.
All that Maple River has to do, come out with a quarterback knee, and this game will go final. Stay tuned to our post-game show. We'll hear from head coach Larry Fontaine, our player of the game in this one, and more. Also coming up, we'll name you our Enbridge Energy player of the game, our Arctic Enterprises feature precision play of the contest. That's all still to come. In a game that started at 7:05, ends at 9:01, a nice tidy 1 hour and 46-minute football game. Your final tonight in Hope, North Dakota. Maple River pitches a shutout in the first half. They score all their points in the opening 24 minutes. The Enderlin Eagles win the second half, but come up short on the scoreboard, winning the second half 6-0, but falling short in this contest 46-6. Your final again, Maple River wins it by 40. Post-game show is next on yourliveevent.com.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in North Dakota. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the NDHSAA and the North Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Dakota Heritage Bank, serving you with 10 locations across North Dakota and northwestern Minnesota, has a strong background in ag and business lending, but they can also help with auto, recreational, personal, or home loans, including home equity lines of credit. Dakota Heritage Bank is a family-owned community bank where decisions are made locally. Our friendly staff greets you with a smile, takes the time to get to know you, and can help you with your banking needs. Visit us online, dhbanknd.com. Dakota Heritage Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Hey growers, when working on your water management solutions, call Chad's Excavating out of Mayville. They are your water management contractor, helping you with tile drainage plans, service drainage plans, or both. Remember, water management is a lifetime investment. Call Chad 701-430-0182 to get your water problem solved. For more information, follow Chad's Excavating on Facebook. For tile drainage and service plans, call 701-430-0182. Chad's Excavating out of Mayville, helping farmers grow.
Triple E Incorporated in Page is cheering on the Raiders as they compete on and off the court and field. They put in the effort to build a team with trust, experience, and the ability to accomplish their goals. The team at Triple E Incorporated is built the same way, with knowledge and experience, with timeliness and efficiency. For your next non-residential building project, go online to eeeinc.com or stop by the office in Page for more information. Make your next project a winner with the team at Triple E Incorporated in Page.
At Enbridge, we believe sustainability is the foundation of our success. How well we perform as a steward of our environment, a safe operator of essential energy infrastructure, a good neighbor, and a diverse employer defines our success. Learn more about Enbridge's environmental, social, and governance commitments and our Indigenous Reconciliation Plan at enbridge.com.
Still to come, we'll get to the final numbers in a moment, but first let's get Nathan Hoots' keys to the game. That was the offensive line. Nathan was one of them, and I think the line play for Maple River really kind of set the tone a little bit here, both offensively and defensively against the Enderlin Eagles.
Yeah, we'll talk, all the skill guys that touched the ball a ton tonight and how well they ran with the ball in their hands, but when it comes down to it, the offensive line and the defensive line for the Raiders won the battle all game long, and especially in that first half, allowing them to get that 46-0 lead. They were just kind of able to do whatever they wanted. I was nervous on the sideline. You could tell the coaches were, not entirely sure what they were going to see, and I think they got to walk away going, hey, we got something here, and it's something we can definitely build on.
And the one thing moving forward, obviously I don't know how much superlatives you can say about your coming out party, but when you have a 57-yard kickoff return and you add a couple more touchdowns, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them in the first half, I don't know how many more words you can say about Carter Bosch, the junior running back.
Yeah, just impressive. And, he did all the little things. He took care of it. He didn't put the ball on the ground. He fielded all of his punts, correctly and gained yardage, which is all you can ask for when you're returning a punt. You just don't want to turn it back over. And then, didn't break every single run that he had, but the ones that he did certainly sent shockwaves through all of Hope here tonight.
Let's take a look at the final numbers here in this one. First, for the Maple River Raiders, as they would finish here in this contest, as they were able to surpass over nearly 300 yards on the ground, 26 yards for a touchdown for T. Silling. That went to Carter Bosch for the score. Just 3 possessions for Maple River in the second half. While on the offensive side of the football here for the Raiders, leading rusher was Mr. Dahl for 17 carries, that is, for 83 yards. For the most on the ground was Carter Bosch, all in the first half, 4 carries, 87 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Mr. T. Silling was 6 carries for a touchdown and 56 yards. Preston Dowds had 9 carries for 20 yards, and then Caleb Dowds with 5 carries with 5 yards as well. As in a couple of moments, as Nathan Hoots will make his way over and grab a player or two coming up here in a moment. We'll talk about that. But for the Maple River Raiders tonight, 282 yards of total offense. For the Enderlin Eagles here this evening, through the air, Mr. Gruba was able to go 3 of 9 with a touchdown and an interception along the way for 44 yards. Gruba with 16 carries for 17 yards on the ground. Anthony Wendell, 10 carries for 13 yards. Adargo, 1 for -8, and Christensen, 4 for 27. Adargo, a rush for 19 yards and a score on the receiving touchdown. Simbiro, 1 for 14, and then Glarum, 1 for 11. 2 penalties, 15 yards for Enderlin, 1 penalty for 5 yards for the Maple River Raiders. Let's toss it down with head coach Larry Fontaine. Here's Nathan Hoots on our post-game show as we hear from the victorious head coach as the Raiders improve to 1-0 on the season. Hoots, let's toss it down to you.
We got Larry Fontaine down here, and he's showing me his dance moves that he's going to practice every time the Carter Bosch scores this season. They look pretty good. You're going to have to practice those because it looks like you're going to get a lot more to do this year. Talk to me a little bit about what you saw in him in practice and how that translated to tonight's game.
Speed. He's just the quick young man. A hard-nosed kid, very intelligent, has great hands, and he just works really hard. And he's a football player. People were telling me at camp, he's a basketball player. He's a basketball player. He ain't a football player. I saw him at camp. He's a football player. He is. He's tough. He's quick. He can't teach speed. He's intelligent. He learned today. I was telling him that he has to go full board every time. And on that last touchdown catch, he kind of slowed down a little bit, and you'll see it. And the kid didn't, and he got hit, and he learned. Yeah, coach, I got to go. You got to go hard until the whistle, okay?
T. Silling seemed under control all game long last year. Got some happy feet, sometimes threw off his back foot. Tonight, stepped into a lot of his throws and turned into spectacular throws on those 2-point conversions. Tell me about the strides that he's made since last year.
He's mature. He's grown up. He's gotten taller, stronger. He's in the weight room all the time. He's quick. He runs like a 4.75 40. He wants to run the ball. He wants to. We always had the arm, but he didn't really want to run the ball. In camp, he started running the ball. He likes running the ball. He's a triple threat. He can run. He can throw. He's just very talented. He's got speed, and he's mature. He's a leader out there, and he wants to win. I don't know anybody that wants to win more than him.
All right, lastly, talk about the offensive line. It was something that I'm sure you had heart palpitations over going into this season when you go over and you split guys into your offensive line and your skill guys, and there's not a whole lot of difference in size when you split them up. Talk about how they played tonight and what you liked and didn't like.
Well, I got to give credit to Rob and Sully because they're doing the offensive line, and they're teaching these guys. Owen, Ticky,
yeah.
Okay, so all right, yeah. He got a game ball today. He's a freshman. He played both sides. He played awesome. Can't wait to see it on film and watch. Bobby Bergfield stepped up as a senior. We need a lineman. Bobby, you want to play line? Yep, coach, I want to play. And that's what we want. We want kids that want to play, and we'll find a place for you. Bobby played well. He's quick. He's not the biggest kid in the world, but he's quick. He played well. We've got Dylan Zahn that can play line now. We can find linemen. Yep. You can find linemen. Dylan Zahn's going to play line. We get Levi Trader back next week. Frank Martin we get back next week. We got to find a place for him. Talented young man. And Gabe Burnson. Maybe put him at end. The kids are working hard, and I'm very proud of them. And there's nothing I didn't like today. And our second team will get better. We'll get better.
All right, hey, congratulations. Hankinson next week. Good luck, and we'll talk to you later. Thank you.
Coach, I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Nathan Hoots, on that one. Again, your final here tonight in Hope, 46-6. We'll take a quick break and see if we can hear from one of the players after this before we put a bow on it from Hope.
In Hillsboro, the Goose River Golf Club offers both recreational and experienced golfers a great round. It's a 9-hole course open to the public, located right off exit 104 on I-29. The Goose River Golf Club in Hillsboro offers annual memberships for singles and families, also college memberships, first-time memberships, and outside 30-mile radius of Hillsboro membership available as well. Men's Day is Wednesday, Ladies' Day is Tuesday. You can learn more about getting on the Goose River Golf Club, GooseRiverGolfClub.com.
Hometown Community Bank serves both the Hope Page and Maple Valley school districts. If you're interested in an egg loan, real estate, consumer, or commercial loan, Hometown Community Bank can serve you. Give DeWitt a call at either branch location in Page or Fingal. Ask Janine about the competitive certificates of deposit or money market rates. Hometown Community Bank is a community bank and proud of the communities they serve, and they wish the best of luck to the Maple River Raiders for many years moving forward with the co-op. Hometown Community Bank is a member of the FDIC.
As we come back now with our Enbridge Energy Player of the Game, Enbridge Energy, go to enbridge.com for energy. Life takes energy. Go to enbridge.com for career opportunities. That is Carter Bosch in this one. 4 carries, 87 yards, 3 scores, 1 rush, 26 yards through the air receiving and a score. That means he touched the ball 5 times for 113 yards and 4 touchdowns before the kickoffs and punt returns. Nathan Hoots, let's talk to the man of the game in Carter Bosch.
All right, Carter, player of the game. He was spewing a bunch of stats. They're all really good. All right. The question I have for you is, what made you decide to make this change and come out for football this year as a junior?
Well, T told me just to try it out at the camp, and then after that I decided I might as well just try it, keep going.
All right. So you started basketball in the varsity level as an 8th grader.
Yep.
Compare the nerves before your first game when you were an 8th grader in basketball to tonight right before you took that opening kickoff almost to the house.
It wasn't really any different. I mean, there really was no nerves. It's kind of just went and ran.
Okay. No, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, offensive line play tonight. I was a little nervous. I think your coaches were a little nervous. Maybe you were or you weren't. I thought they were fantastic tonight. Talk to me about what they did tonight to make your job easier.
They've made an amazing hole for me to get through, and I just chose the blocks and got through.
All right. Hey, you know what? As I was telling Chase earlier, when folks are scrolling Twitter tonight looking at scores, they're going to stop at this and see 46-6, and they're going to put on the film, and you're going to pop. A lot of kids played really, really well tonight. Anybody else that you saw on the field that we couldn't quite see that you'd like to shout out?
Connor Dahl, he did an amazing job on the dives and second chance points. And Steve, T was amazing. I like playing with T. He's a great quarterback.
I couldn't have said it any better. I like we compared the thunder and lightning between you and Connor, so that's exciting to see if you're a Maple River fan. I think we got a lot of good things coming up. Thanks for the time, and we'll talk to you next week. See you later. Good job.
Thank you very much, Nathan Hoots, with our player of the game again in Mr. Carter Bosch. Let's get now to our RDK Enterprises feature precision play of the contest. And, well, no surprise, that kind of goes with Carter Bosch. First with the kickoff return, and then he would cap it off later in the half with, as we mentioned, 3 rushing touchdowns, but also a really nice pass. T-Silling to Carter Bosch for a touchdown at that particular moment. For that particular play was with 7:37 left in the second quarter to make it 38-0. RDK Enterprises with locations in Hillsborough and Drayton for precision planning updates, information, and questions. Contact RDK Enterprises. They can help you. Visit planterdoc.com. That again is planterdoc.com. Nathan Hoots, hard to say again, Bosch with the player of the game, but also play of the game, I believe. Just he put his fingerprints all over this one.
Yeah, he really did. He made an effect every single time he was on the field, and teams are going to feel him. That he's going to have a gravity like Steph Curry out on the field or on the court. You have to know where he's at, and your defense is going to get stretched in that direction. No matter where he lines up on the field, people are going to have to account for him at all times.
Here's some updated scores. Sargent County 46, Lemoore Litchfield Marion the Lobos 28 in the third quarter. So the Bulldogs right now making a statement here for their first game in 9-man football. We go from there in Class A football. It's a final, ranked versus ranked. Kindred shuts out Central Cass 21-0. That is a final. Also a final, Hatton Northwood 28-8 over Griggs Dakota. And a final, another shutout in 11A, Hillsborough Central Valley 25, Mayport CG scoreless. And the last we heard, Lisbon over Northern Cass Lake 38-13 in the fourth quarter. Let's talk a little bit about the Enderlin Eagles second half. A little bit better offense, a little bit better defense. Christensen, we'll see what Anthony Wendell, how his leg's going to be doing moving forward here, Nathan. But I think at the end of the day, getting Gruba an opportunity to make some runs, get some good passes. The test is not going to get any easier, as they say, with a very good program with the Lobos next week here. But what can Bo Deagle and this Enderlin Eagles team look forward to throughout the rest of the season?
I think they have a quarterback and a tight end offensively. They they can build around with both Adargo and Gruba. It's something that we saw late in the game, and I think, as the game got going, they kind of got into a bit of a rhythm offensively. That's something you can certainly build off of. You find the things that worked well tonight, you build off of those moving forward.
On the opposite side for the Maple River Raiders, as we alluded to in the fourth quarter, if you can go to Hankinson, who had a non-region game with North Border, and then go to Weimar-Lidgerwood, who plays Richland tonight, or played Richland tonight, and you can come out of there at least 2-1, maybe 3-0, especially 3-0. Not to say you're in the playoffs, but you really set yourself up for a really nice stretch of games in September, Hoots, after Labor Day weekend.
You don't want to look too far ahead, but I completely agree with you. Now that you just focus on Hankinson this week, see if you can get to 2-0 as best you can, and put yourself in the driver's seat to maybe be able to absorb a late season loss or two and still be able to make the playoffs.
Again, your final 30 points in the first quarter. The Enderlin Eagles scoreless until the fourth. Maple River 30 in the first quarter, 16 in the second, scoreless in the second half of play. Final thoughts, Nathan, on this one as we take a look for some other games across the region. Anything surprise you tonight, either on this contest and Hope or across the region here this evening?
Big statement for Eric and Olson and the Bulldogs. If they can hold off Lemoore here down the stretch, I think that'll be something that you look at. We talked before the game. Are they going to ascend immediately to number one? If you beat the team that has made it to the state championship game, a couple times in the last 3 years, that's a really impressive start to your 9-man tenure. 10
seniors coming back, and they are paying dividends in this one. Hoots, thanks so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of the couple weeks here. Enjoy school starting up for you guys. Hope Page already had a couple days, but for you guys next week, and we'll chat with you sometime in September here in Hope for the next home game.
Always good to work with you. Thank you.
That again, Nathan Hoots on behalf of Joey Hughes. I'm Chase Miller. Thanks so much for tuning in to 9-man football tonight here in Hope. Your final on yourliveevent.com. Maple River 46 improves to 1-0 on the season. The Eagles drop to 0-1. Maple River at Hankinson next week. A week from tonight, the Eagles host Lemoore Litchfield Marion. For more information on upcoming games, go to yourliveevent.com. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and have a great rest of your upcoming Friday night.